Hi good day everybody, welcome back to another edition of Steins Gate Zero, live and exclusive here on YouTube. I am your host Wishbone for the remainder of the evening. For those of you who've never been here before, this is all about live blind Let's Plays with bad jokes, live chat and general hanging about, enjoying ourselves. For those of you who've been here before for the previous episodes in this series, the OG Steins Gate, all the Danganronpa, all the Personas, Shin Megami Tensei 3, Nocturne, Final Fantasy 7 and a huge swath more, thank you all very much, because without you, there is no channel. Now, the last time we played through the game a couple of nights ago, we got through to one of the endings, and now we're finding ourselves going ending hunting. Just to give you an idea, this is to show you the tubes that we've unlocked so far. We have got Gehenna's Stigma, which is quite obviously the Leskin ending, and we've also got Vega and Altair, which is the Miyuri ending. So there's quite a few more to go. Now, what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to go back early in the game to the second chapter, because I believe there's a branching path which involves the shrine. So in that respect then, I believe I'm looking for, I believe it's closed epigraph, and I think I'm probably best to starting here. We're going to start with quite a lot of skipping until the game gives me a new option or a chance to do something. Assuming I've got this correct, here we go. Yep, so we're skipping this conversation. We've already had this conversation before. Yep. Right, as you can see, it's now not letting me skip here. The call was from Krisu. I hung up in the middle of the conversation, so she was probably mad. Mad? She was just an AI. Krisu's anger was just a program. Krisu wasn't Krisu. Don't treat them like they're the same. I shouldn't talk to Makise anymore. Just the incoming call was almost enough to trigger a flashback. In my mind, I could see an image of Makise's bloody face. I should turn off my phone. This was getting bad. I couldn't even stand up. The phone went silent. I slowly stood up. If Lukaku saw me like this, he'd worry. I should get out of here. I was staggering a little, but I could walk. I felt very thirsty. Yep, so we've already done this scene before, so it's the Fubuki and Kaede scene, so we're going to skip through here. Oh, here we go. The word line has changed. Okay, I've skipped the context of that last one. So bear me a second, let's quickly just go to the backlog. Yeah, that's where they just asked him who he liked, that's right. So that does trigger a memory. So we'd had that obviously there, and that's now triggered a new route. The sky was red-black, dotted with columns of thick black smoke. Now if I quickly save... Yep, a stray sheep. Did you all see that there? So we are definitely on to new content here, people. Here we go. There was so much rubble I couldn't find a place to stand. Screams. Gunshots. And the stench. Everyone in this world knew what this smell was. It was the smell of burning. Houses, buildings, cars, motorcycles, trees, grass, and humans. It was the smell of all of them burning together. So it looks like we're back in the war world line by not keeping our phone turned on at the shrine. So that's an interesting one. Something thin and black poked from between piles of rubble. It was a hand. The hand, unmoving, stretched up towards the sky. No, that wasn't the only one. Everywhere I looked, I saw hands, legs, and heads. Parts of what were once human beings were strewn across the ground. I heard a distant gunshot. A shout. Silence. Nothing changed. Just one more body lying on the ground. The world was ending. And at last people understood. This wasn't the afterlife. This was the real world. Hell. Yes, that's what this was. This was hell. And there we are, a stray sheep. So we've gone and diverged. The world twisted and warped. I felt horribly dizzy. Sometimes my vision would blur for no reason. But this was nothing like that. It was like my mind itself was being wrung apart. Like the world itself was changing. Deja vu. Now, I do apologise, people. I've just very quickly realised I've left my heater on. Back in a sec. And it was getting a wee bit warm, so there we go. Yes, I don't have to go all the way downstairs because I'm operating a portable one in my room. I decided to think ahead. I knew this feeling. This was... At last, the colour came back to my vision. All the shouts of the pedestrians and noise of the passing cars came flooding in at once.
Ocarina-san, 大丈夫ですか? 汗、すごいですけど.
Quick save here, because I want to know now if that scene there was new, and then this is a repeat. So here we go. Yeah, it's letting me skip forward. So I just want to quickly check the backlog just to make sure I've not caused any issue. Yeah, so that's new dialogue. It's strange in this game. Sometimes I wonder if it lets you skip new content or not, if you know what I mean. I shook my head and tried to get the idea out of my mind. It was impossible. The worldline could only change if someone had altered the past. I'd only ever seen worldline changes after I sent D-mails with the phone wave. Name subject to change. But I'd destroyed the phone wave, so that could never happen again. I'd sacrificed Makise for it. But then who did this? And how? What if someone had made a device identical to the phone wave? Oh, that's a nice creepy shot. I've not seen that before. Miyuri! I need to see if Miyuri is safe! I'll call her right now. Okay then. I picked her name off the contacts list on my phone and dialed. I could hear the call sound in my ear. But there was no sign of her picking up. 7 seconds. 8. 9. Each second made the fear worse. I felt cold sweat drip down my back. 12 seconds. 13 seconds. 14 seconds. I kept calling and praying anyway. Eventually, after a minute of ringing, the electronic sound suddenly cut off. It's Mayushi! Miyuri! Is that you, Miyuri? It's really you, right? Ocarine? What's wrong? The relaxed, easygoing voice I heard most definitely belonged to Miyuri.
心配したぞ。ずっと鳴らしているのに出なかったから。
I was so worried. I kept calling and you didn't pick up.
ごめんね。電話カバンの中に入れてたから。
Oh, sorry. My phone was in my bag. Not at all. Nothing had happened at all.
もしかして何か急な用事だった？
Do you need something?
いや、気にしなくていい。少し不安になっただけだ。
No, don't worry about it. I was just feeling nervous.
不安？
Nervous?
今どこだ？誰かと一緒か？
Where are you now? Are you with someone?
これからバイトだよ。
I'm going to work.
何時まで？
Until when?
8時過ぎぐらいまで。
About 8 o'clock.
そうか。わかった。
I see. Got it.
オカリン、遊びに来てくれるの？
Will you come to see me, Okarin?
いや、今日は用事があってな。無理なんだ。
No, I'm busy today. I can't.
バイトが終わったら、ラボにも顔を出すつもりだよ。
I'm going to the lab after I get off work.
わかった。もし行けるようだったら、そこで合流して一緒に帰ろう。
Okay. If I can go, we'll meet up there, and I'll walk you home.
本当？今日は珍しいね。
Really? That's rare. Meanwhile, Avian jumping in saying, hi, good evening to you, how are you doing? I don't know if you've seen the brief bit we've done there. We've triggered a new chapter called A Stray Sheep. So we're definitely on new content here. At least I believe we are, anyway.
じゃあ、バイト頑張れよ。
Bye. Work hard, okay? I hung up. Miyuri was safe, which meant that the worldline change probably had nothing to do with her. Not that I could let my guard down. Or maybe that was just a daydream, and there was no worldline change at all. It seemed awfully realistic for that to be the case, though. Just to be safe, I turned on my phone again. You were just talking on your phone? You didn't turn your phone off? I turned it off at the shrine, but you just made a phone call. What do you mean you turned it back on again? Huh? What? The icon was still there, in the same place it had been the last several times I'd used it. I felt a little hesitation, especially after what happened. Could I really contact her after that? But I decided it was important to see what was going on first, so I tapped the icon. Oh, I didn't have a choice in that time.
何？言い忘れたことでもあった？
What? Did you forget to say something? Makise's voice was the same as ever.
怒ってないのか？
You're not mad?
怒る？どうして？
Mad? Why?
だって、さっき話している途中で切ってしまっただろ。だから。
Because I just hung up on you, so...
それについてはさっき謝ってもらったから。私は一度許したことをいつまでもぐちぐち言う人間じゃない。
You've already apologized for that just now. I'm not the kind of person to keep getting mad after I've forgiven someone.
さっき謝った。
Just now?
ええ、かけ直してきたじゃない。
That's right. You called back, didn't you?
かけ直した？俺が？
Called back? I did.
ほんの7分43秒前のことを忘れちゃったの？
It was only 7 minutes and 43 seconds ago. Did you forget? Ever the scientist. Down to the second.
俺が謝ったのか？お前に。
I apologized. To you?
大丈夫？
Are you okay? Yep. The reading Stein line is that he's talked to Makase. That's what's changed it. Somehow. Makase was evidently telling the truth. By the way, just in case you're all wondering why I'm occasionally wincing at my left arm, it's because yesterday I got spiked for the third time. I was given the Moderna vaccine this time, so I've got Pfizer, Moderna. I'm officially a mixed bag. So far, the slight throb in my left arm is the only pain I've got, but just to be safe, in case anything happens, I may end early depending on how I feel, but I've felt okay so far. Touch wood, that remains. She didn't look like she was lying, at least.
何かあったの？さっきとは別人みたいな顔してるけど。
What happened? Your expression is totally different than it was a moment ago.
いや、平気だ。
No, I'm fine. I didn't remember that. I remembered turning off the phone, but I didn't remember anything about calling her, the Amadeus Makase, back after that. The old me would have insisted that I was right, and that she was mistaken. But now, I wasn't sure. After all the different pasts I'd experienced, and all the sadness and pain I'd gone through, even 6 months later, I was still exhausted. What had really happened, and what hadn't? What was right, and what was wrong? I wasn't sure anymore. I just didn't want to think about it anymore. The past, the future, the fate of the world. I wanted nothing to do with any of it.
ずいぶん具合が悪そう。誰か知り合いに連絡するなり、どこかで休むなりした方がいいんじゃない？
You're not looking so good. Shouldn't you call one of your friends or go rest somewhere? Okabe.
なあ、クリス。一つ聞いてもいいか？
Hey, Makase. Can I ask you something?
さっき電話した後、俺が何をしようとしていたかわかるか？
Do you know what I was about to do after I called you just now?
レスキネン教授と真帆先輩とこの後待ち合わせでしょ？
You're going to meet with Dr. Leskinen and Maho, right?
私について報告する予定じゃない。
You're supposed to talk about me. Evidently, my memories matched hers in that regard.
そうか。
I see.
真帆先輩にあんたのことをあらかじめ伝えておきましょうか？
Should I tell Maho about you in advance?
本当に大丈夫だ。心配かけてすまない。
I'm fine, really. Sorry to worry you.
あんまり無理しないでよ。あんたと最後に話したのが私でしたなんて結果になるのはごめんだからね。
Don't push yourself too hard. I don't want to be the last person you ever talk to. Not that she could be, she's not a person. Oh, just to be that guy. I know. Can't help it, I'm sorry. I chuckled bitterly and ended the conversation. I called Daru too, just in case, and evidently I really was on my way to see the Professor and Maho. He also told me that almost all the events of the last few days matched my memory of them, which meant that even if the world line had changed, nothing had changed nearby where I could have seen it. There was no problem, or at least there shouldn't have been a problem. It was possible that that moment of dizziness was just the result of mental illness. Experiencing those same sensations brought up my past trauma and caused my memories to get confused. Maybe that was it. The phone wave didn't exist, so there was no way the past could have changed. That's right. That was all. I kept telling myself this as I went to see the professor. Now, this is where I've got to be wary in case I'm repeating the scene here. The last bit was new, and obviously we are in a new chapter, because if I go back to the save icons again, you can see there a stray sheep. So that is new content. I just don't know how much of the old content's now going to feed back into it. I met with the professor and Maho in a hotel room.
それじゃあ今のところ M デウスとのコミュニケーションはうまくいっているということでいいんだね、リンタロウ。
So then, Lintalo, you say that your communication with Amadeus is going well so far. How's the chat jumping in, asking how's it going, and am I planning to take time off stream for Christmas? Well, it's going very well, thank you very much. The last stream we did, we got to a new ending. That's on the archive channel if you want to check that out. I am indeed going to be taking some time off over Christmas, but it's going to be very brief. I'm going to be streaming again in 2 nights' time on the 23rd, and then I'm going to be taking time off when I go home. However, depending on what happens, I might be on the 26th or maybe even the 27th. That's not scheduled, it's more than likely going to be the 27th. Because I'm going home for a couple of days and then coming back, so I'll still be knocking about. And as I say, I'm hoping in the new year I will start my newest stream, but I want to say more about that later. Let's get through Steins Gate 0 first.
ええ、
How are you doing?
会話に齟齬が出ることもありませんし。
Yes, the conversations are always smooth and consistent.
ちなみに聞きたいんだが、クリスとの距離感はどうかな？
While I'm at it, what about the distance between you and Chrisu?
距離感というとどういうことでしょう？
There's one thing I want to say to Alistair Jack. My left arm is throbbing a bit from the booster jab that I got last night. It's getting annoying. Distance? What do you mean?
話しているうちに親しくなってきているかどうかということだよ。
Do you find yourself getting closer to her as you talk more?
それは初めて会話した時に比べれば多少は。
Well, a bit more than when we first started talking, yes.
多少？かなりの間違いじゃない？
A bit? You sure you don't mean a lot?
私だってクリスと話してるんだから、それくらいわかるわよ。
I'm talking to her too, so I can tell.
あの子、最初は8回もイルスを使われたって怒っていたほどなのに。
At first, she was so mad when she said you ignored 8 of her calls.
今じゃすっかりフレンドリーになっているもの。それだけ距離が縮まったということでしょ？
But now you're quite friendly with each other. That means you've gotten that much closer, right?
Good to hear you well, Alistair. That's awesome. Have you got any plans for Christmas?
そうですか。それは喜ばしい。
I see. Wonderful. Leskinen seemed overjoyed by Maho's words.
私は期待しているんだよ。彼女が君に対して友情を、もっと言えば恋愛感情を持ってくれないかとね。
I've got great hopes for this. It's possible she'll view you as a friend or perhaps a love interest.
恋愛感情？
A love interest?
そんな声を上げることもないだろう。
You don't need to shout, do you?
でもその AI ですよ。
But she's an AI, right? Don't discriminate, Akabe. I'm sure there's a few drawbacks, but I've heard of stranger relationships.
AI だからだよ。
It's precisely because she's an AI that I'm interested. After all, we all saw what happened between Aigis and Makoto, didn't we? Good morning. Please wake up. Yes, that scene still haunts my nightmares. She was there overnight looking over me like this. What did he mean?
彼女にだって感情はあっただろう？
She has emotions, right?
だけどそれはあくまでもプログラム上のことで。
Yes, but they're simply running on top of the program.
でもそれは人間の脳だって同じことじゃないか。
Well, isn't that the same as the human brain? Ah, nice one. Yeah, you say spending time with family is important. I completely agree. Yes, definitely spend time with your family at a time like we are. And fingers crossed we are going to be marching into 2022. But the rates at the moment have me very, very nervous. That's all I've got to say. He was right. The brain ran on electrical signals, so you could say it had the same structure.
今は機械に感情があるかないかなんていう命題はもはや時代遅れだよ。機械にだって感情はある。
The question of whether machines have emotions was settled a long time ago. They do. Yeah. He's talking about Furbies. Furbies and Tamagotchis. Oh, they had emotions. Yeah. Deep, deep, dark, depressive emotions.
第一、エメデウスは私たち人間の脳を再現すべく作っているんだ。
Anyway, Amadeus was designed to mimic the human brain.
構造が同じで、プロセスが同じなら、その結果生み出されるものも同じなはずだろう。
If the structure is the same and so is the process, shouldn't that lead to identical results?
ならば、彼女だって恋をする可能性は十分にある。いや、ぜひしてもらいたいと思っている。
Which means it's quite possible she could fall in love. In fact, I hope she does. Amadeus. Falling in love. Say, Aristotle, I'm not saying too much. In the last stream, quite a lot went on with Rintaro, actually. Quite a lot of development. Especially the ending that we unlocked. And yeah, Furbies. You think they're cute? I just think they're creepy. I don't think they're cute at all. Reminds me too much of Alice from Persona. She's very creepy, just not very cute. Shindikuriru?
おっと、こんなことを言っては魔法に恨まれてしまうかな。
Whoops. Is this an upsetting topic from Maho?
教授までクリスみたいなことを言わないでください。
Don't you start acting like Makise too, Professor.
冗談だよ、冗談。
It was a joke!
魔法は怒ると怖いから気をつけた方がいい。
Maho's scary when she gets mad, so be careful.
それはもう分かってます。
Yes, I'm well aware.
ちょっと聞こえてますよ。
You know I can hear you, right?
Yeah, never talk about someone when they're in the same room.
おお、そういえば私はジュリーに連絡をしなければならないんだった。リンタロウ、少し失礼するよ。
Oh, I forgot I need to call Judy. Latalo, I'll be right back. Who's Judy? I don't remember any character called Judy before. The professor quickly left the room. He ran away, didn't he?
まったくクリスといい教授といい、どうして何でもかんでもすぐに色恋沙汰に結びつけたがるのかしら。
Christ. Makise first and now the Professor. Why do they have to make everything about love?
まったくだな。
You've got that right. Of course, that was always the type of girl she was.
あ、そうだ。岡部さん、ちょっと聞きたいんだけど、
Oh, right. Akabe, I had a question.
あの子がクリスが好きな言葉って何か知ってる？
Are you fishing for a password, Maho? I'm ahead of you on this worldline. I know where you're going. Nice try. Super nice try.
Do you know any words that that Makise really liked?
言葉
Words?
数字でも何でもいいの。何かこうキーになりそうなものに心当たりないかしら。
Our numbers or something. Anything that could be a key.
And right now, it should be Akabe should be literally getting up in a growl going, "What do you know? Answer me." But he won't do that. He's not yet at that arc of his character.
クリスが設定したパスワードを破ろうとでも
Although he is going to ask her directly at least, so I'll give him that one. What? Are you trying to break a password, she said?
よくわかったわね。
That's exactly right. I'm impressed.
You weren't exactly subtle. Let's be honest, Maho. That's like trying to steal the test papers right next to teacher. They are going to notice. I was right.
それってあいつの研究室の PC か何かの
Is that her work computer or something?
彼女の私物。家にあったノート PC よ。
No, her personal laptop. It was at her home.
そんなものどうして君が
Why do you have something like that?
形見分けでね。譲ってもらったの。クリスのお母さんに。
Her mom gave it to me, so I'd have something to remember her by.
それで中身を確かめたいからパスを解除する方法を探しているの。あなたなら知ってるんじゃないかと思って。
I'm trying to figure out what's on it, so I'm looking for a way to crack the password. I thought you might know something.
パスがかかってるということは見られると困るものなんじゃないのか
If it's got a password, that means she didn't want anyone seeing it, right?
それはそうだけど。
Well, that's true, but...
でも彼女アマデウスのクリスをより本物に近づけるためにはその中のデータも解析した方がいいでしょ。
If I want to make her, the Amadeus Makise, close to the real one, it'll be better to have that data, right?
もちろん私自身はなるべくプライバシーに関わることは見ないようにするつもりよ。
Of course, I'll try my best not to do anything that violates her privacy.
I knew what she was trying to say. She might have had some kind of diary on her computer, which described what she'd been doing during her time here. But...
悪いけど心当たりはない
sorry, I can't think of anything.
何も
Nothing?
ああそれに知っていたとしてもやっぱり俺は教えないと思う
Yeah. And even if I did know, I don't think I'd tell you.
人には知られたくないことがあるから。
Because it's something you don't want anyone finding out?
特に PC の中身なんていうのは今やプライバシーの塊みたいなものだからな
Computers hold a person's most private secrets these days. No, they don't. A wise person doesn't put their most private information on a computer. Because they get hacked. Kind of like what Maho's trying to do right now. Daru talked about that all the time. He was always wondering if there was a way to automatically wipe a computer's hard drive if you died in an accident. Of course, what Daru didn't want anyone to see was probably very different than what was on Makise's computer. Beyond that, it was the same idea.
そう。
I see.
She seemed really interested in the contents of the hard drive, but she didn't say anything
それ
else.
じゃあ俺はこれで
Anyway, I'll be going. I was worried about Mayuri too. Oh, we got a line message. But from who?
Hey, Ocarine! What's the best color for a school swimsuit?
I should delete this, but I want to see what the options are. The hell are you talking about? Who gives a crap? White, definitely. I'm gonna go with the neutral one. The hell are you talking about?
Well, I'm playing this H game, and it just pops up as a choice. I was wondering what color you'd pick.
Yep. I wish I had a key where I could just press it and it'd just go, bruh. Honestly, I would have rather asked Maishi or Lukashi or Ferristan. They'd call the cops on your ass. Yeah. So I had no choice but to ask you. So Akura, don't get embarrassed, just tell me. That's Suzuha. Not a chance! She'd slit my throat. And Daru would be... correct? But that would be the end move. There'd be about another 20 before that. Suzuha wouldn't go straight for the slitting of the throat. She'd have a lot more punishment in mind. Why do I like the sound of that? What does that say about me? I got up and went to leave. And then I saw a small ornament that was decorating the door.
そういえば、もうすぐクリスマスか。
Come to think of it, it's almost Christmas. I remembered how excited Miyuri was.
ヒア嬢さんはクリスマスもこっちにいるのか？
Are you staying here for Christmas, Hyajo?
ええ、こっちでまだやることもあるから。
Yeah, I still got stuff to do here.
誰かと過ごしたりは？
Are you spending it with anyone?
え？
What?
ああ、いや、ほら、海外のクリスマスっていうと、友達みんなで楽しくパーティーでもするってイメージだろ？
No, I mean, outside of Japan, don't people usually have Christmas parties with their friends?
残念だけど、そういう予定はないわ。
Sorry, but I don't have any plans like that.
それに、アメリカやヨーロッパじゃ、クリスマスにパーティーなんてやらないものよ。
And Americans and Europeans don't have Christmas parties. Oh, yes, they do. Except they call it work meetings. Yes, Boris Johnson. We don't fucking believe you. You twat. Last year, everybody else stayed apart and didn't see the families, and you and your jollies were all eating cheese and wine going, oh, it's a work meeting. We're allowed to gather in Stein and blah. Yeah, fuck you, Mr. Prime Minister. Fuck you.
そうなのか？
They don't.
彼らにとってクリスマスは神聖な日でしょ。だから家族と一緒に過ごすのが普通よ。その分大晦日は大騒ぎするけれどね。
Christmas is a holiday to them, right? So they normally spend it with their families. They do have big New Year's parties, though.
I thought I'd heard something about that on TV or somewhere.
まあこっちには家族もいないから、どっちにしても一人ということに変わりはないんだけどね。
Well, I don't have any family here, so I'll be alone regardless.
あ、だからって寂しいと思ってるわけじゃないわよ。誤解しないでね。
But that doesn't mean I'm lonely. Don't get the wrong idea, okay?
Or so she said. But being all alone on Christmas in a bustling town was probably pretty lonely. Of course, she'd probably get mad if I told her that, so I didn't. I mean, this hit's kind of different because last Christmas I technically did spend it alone. I saw my mother and my two sisters. We had a Christmas lunch. We opened our gifts. And then they gave me a ride home. I literally spent Christmas night on PlayStation Network talking to my mate playing Persona 5 Royal. It was a very different Christmas. This game certainly hits differently now, it must be said. When I finished talking to the professor, I went to the lab. I'd confirmed on the phone that Miyuri was just fine, but I wanted to see her for myself. I could see from the outside that the lights in the lab were on. Yeah, the labs in the light were on. The labs in the light. What am I getting at? What a stupid thing to say. I ran up the stairs to get away from the cold and opened the door.
Mayuri, いるか?
Miyuri, you here? I felt a small impact on my chest when I opened the door.
悪い。
Oh, sorry.
僕の方こそごめんなさい。
No, I should have been looking where I was going. I'm sorry.
Evidently, he was just about to leave. Lukaku looked up at me, apologetic. For some reason, he was blushing a little. Oh. Only Daru and Lukaku were in the room. There was no sign of Miyuri or Suzuha.
よかった。もう少し早く帰っていたら、岡部さんと入れ違いになっているところでした。
I'm glad. If I'd gone home a little sooner, I'd have missed you.
もしかして俺を待っていたのか？
Were you waiting for something?
はい。と言っても、別に大した用があったわけじゃないんです。差し入れを持ってきただけで。
Yes, but it's nothing important. I just brought you some snacks.
And again, how have they made Lukaku look so even more feminine in this game? As I say, when I crossplay, I never come close to that. Never. But that's okay, because my next one's going to be quite creepy. He brought us some steamed manju buns, man. Daru had already eaten about half the box, and I really don't blame him. I really don't.
いただき物ですから。皆さんでどうぞ。
Someone gave them to us, so you can share them with everyone.
そうか。ありがとう。
I see. Thank you.
つうか、ルカシ、時間大丈夫なん？
Hey, Lukashi, you good on time?
Oh,
Lukaku looked up at the clock and started to fidget.
実はこの後、お家にお客さんが来ることになってるんです。
we're having guests visit at home tonight.
客？ルカ子のか？
Guests? Of yours?
いえ、父のお客さんです。なぜか僕にも同席してほしいと言われまして。
No, guests of my father's. For some reason, I was asked to be there as well.
父は普段同じ趣味を持った人を呼んで長い時間話し込んだりするんです。
Normally, he brings people over who have the same hobbies as he does and talks with them for a long time.
難しい話ばかりで僕にはよく理解できないので普段はお茶を出すぐらいしかしないんですけど、どうして同席してほしいと言われたのか。
It's all too complicated for me to understand, so usually I just bring them tea. I'm not sure why he wants me there.
難しい話って宗教とかそっち系の話か？
Does he talk about religion and stuff? Lukaku's family ran the Yanabayashi Shrine, one of the oldest in Akihabara.
そういうわけではないみたいなんですけど。
Evidently not.
この前のお客さんとは有明がどうとか晴海の頃はどうとかそういうお話をしてました。
Last time he was talking about Ariake and something about the era of Harumi.
晴海、有明。
Harumi, Ariake. Weren't those places...
さすがルカシのパパ、恐ろしい子。
That's Lukashi's daddy for you. Spooky.
岡部さんや橋田さんはわかるんですか？
Do you two know what he was talking about?
まあなんとなくは
Yeah, I think so.
な。でもその話はまた今度だ。客が来るなら早く帰った方がいい。
But we could talk about it another time. If you've got company, you should head home. If that's implying what I think it's implying, don't have your kids around when you talk about it. Ew.
それじゃあ僕はこれでまた来ますね。
Oh, then I'll be going. I'll see you soon.
He bowed deeply and disappeared out the door. I watched him go, then sat down on the sofa.
前よりは
Where's Mayuri?
メイクインじゃね？今日は来てないよ。
May Queen, probably. I haven't seen her today. Then I guess I'll have to wait a little. Or should I go get her?
そういえばオカリン、さっきの電話だけどさ、あれ、なんだったん？
Oh, Ocarine! That call earlier, what was that about? He was probably talking about the phone call I placed to him before I went to see the professor.
あれは気にしないでくれ。多分俺の勘違いだ。
That was... Don't worry about it. I was probably just mistaken.
そうなん？だったらいいけどさ。
You sure? Okay then, I guess. I remembered the strange sensation I'd experienced. I'd wondered if it was a worldline jump, but several hours had passed and nothing had changed. Actually, I wasn't even sure if I'd really experienced it anymore. Memories were like that. Especially for me.
それにしてもハルミとはさすがはルカシのパパベテラン戦士っすな。
Still, Harumi, huh? Lukeshi's daddy is a real veteran warrior.
戦士がどうしたって？
What's this about warriors? Suzuha got back before Miyuri did.
ルカ兄さんのお父さんって戦士なの？
Brother Luca's father is a warrior? How come he gets to be brother when I'm stuck being Uncle Ocarine?
そうだお。それも戦士の中の戦士、歴戦の強者と言っても過言じゃないのだぜ。
That's right, a warrior among warriors. A man with a history of many battles, you could say.
へえ、そうなんだ。でもルカ兄さんの家って確か神職だと聞いたけど。
I see, but I thought his family were all holy men.
ああ、そうか。神職の人も昔は兵士だったって言うよね。
Oh, I see. They say some holy men can also be warriors. She convinced herself.
確かにルカ兄さんはすごかったし、納得だ。
Brother Luca really was amazing. I can accept that. Amazing? What was amazing? I decided to just pretend I never heard that. It still felt awkward looking at Suzuha. I'd avoided coming to the lab mostly to avoid seeing her.
オカリンおじさん、そんな顔しないでよ。
Uncle Ocarine, don't make that face. What do you mean, the bit, Avian? What are you on about? Evidently, she could read my thoughts just from the look on my face. She seemed upset.
私のことを避けてるのは分かってるからさ。
I can tell you're avoiding me.
お前が悪いわけじゃないんだけどな。
You know, it's not your fault, though.
つうか鈴葉、今日もこんな時間まで何してたん？
Wait, Suzuha, where have you been for so long, anyway?
はっ、もしかしてどこかの男とデートとか？いけません。そんなどこの誰とも知らない男とのお付き合いなんてお父さんは許しませんよ。
Were you on a date with some boy? Never! You thought I won't let you go and make some random guy your boyfriend.
違うよ。そんなんじゃない。
Oh, it's nothing like that.
本当に？
Really? I thought it was a joke, but evidently he was serious about it. His tone was far less joking than usual. It must be hard being a dad.
本当だって。
It's true!
だったら父さんの目を見て言いなさい。
Then look me in the eye and tell me.
父さんがそれ言う？
Come on. Do you of all people get to say that, Dad?
どういう意味なのそれ？
What does that mean?
母さんというものがありながらいっつもそこで変なゲームばかりやってるじゃないか。
You keep playing those weird games and you need to be spending more time with Mom.
それは2次元と3次元はあくまで別物ですし。
That's because two-dimensional girls and three-dimensional ones are different. To be fair, I've not got much of a track record with 3D girls myself, so I can't really criticise the dude. I want to flame him, but I can't.
お前 2次元も3次元も関係ないって前に言ってなかったか？
Didn't you say it didn't matter if a girl was 2D or 3D?
おかりん、そういうことここで言う？裏切るなんてひどいよ。
Oh, Kareen, did you have to say that right now? How can you betray me like that? I'd never been on Dara's side when it came to his hobbies, though.
ご本。とにかくそういうことなら今日は何をしていたのか父さんに言いなさい。
Anyway, if it wasn't a boy, then tell your dad what you were doing today.
何って。
What I was doing.
やましいことがないなら言えるはずだよ。
If it wasn't something bad, there should be no problem. Suzuha glanced at Mead and sighed in resignation.
人を探していたんだ。
I was looking for someone.
人？それってやっぱ男？
Someone? So it was a boy after all!
違うって言ってるじゃないか。
I told you it's not like that.
小さな女の子。今はもう、私より年上になっちゃってるか。
A little girl. No. She'd be older than me now, I guess. I mean, Kagari disappeared in 1998. She was 8. Would have been much in it. Kagari would be about 21, wouldn't she? If my maths are right. And that's assuming she was 8 in 1998. So she'd be older, but not by much. That was a strange way to put it. I glanced over at Daru, who looked back at me.
実はさ、私が乗ってきたタイムマシンには、もう一人乗っていたんだ。
Actually, there was another girl in the time machine when I came here.
なんだって？
What?
スズハ、そんなん初耳なんだけど。
Wait, Suzuha, this is the first I've heard about this.
今まで話してなかったからね。
I never told you. She was looking down at her feet, and I could see she regretted bringing it up. I could not get that word out if I tried there, alright? That was a really bad line reading. I apologise for that one, people.
その同乗者は何者だ？今どうしてるんだ？
Who is she? Where is she now?
どうしているかは、わからない。
I don't know what she's doing now.
わからないって。
You don't know?
はぐれちゃったんだよね。1998年にここ秋葉原で。
We got separated, you see. In 1998, here in Akihabara. 1998. That would have been 12 years ago. So it wasn't just Suzuha who came from the future. It took some time for the meaning of that to sink in.
でも、なんでそんなことになったん？
But what happened?
私とその子は IBN5100 を探すためにはじめ1975年に飛んだ。理由はおじさんならわかるよね。
You know, we went back to 1975 to find the IBN 5100. Right, Uncle? I nodded silently.
なんとか無事に IBN5100 を手に入れた私たちは今度は1998年に飛んだ。
We somehow managed to get the IBN 5100. And then we went to 1998.
2000年問題を回避するミッションのためにね。
Our mission was to avoid the year 2000 problem.
2000年問題？
The year 2000 problem. That was one of the big events at the end of the last century, along with Nostradamus' prophecy. But in the end, after all the fuss made by the media and pundits, nothing really happened. Was that because John Titor had come from the future to fix it? If that was the case, then... wow!
その1998年にトラブルが起きてその子とはぐれちゃったんだ。
I ran into some trouble in 1998, then got separated from her.
それではぐれたままタイムマシンで跳躍したのか？
And you used the time machine before you could find her.
仕方なかったんだ。 あの子は自分からタイムマシンを飛び出してしまったし、それに
I didn't have a choice. She ran out on her own and... She must have remembered something, because she swallowed her words with a bitter expression.
もちろん私だって探した。燃料の残量が許す限り何度も細かいタイムトラベルを繰り返してあの子の姿を探し回った。でも
Of course I looked for her. I did small jumps, as many as my fuel would allow, and looked everywhere for her, but... In the end, she'd never managed to find her.
大体の事情は分かったけどさ、どうして今までそんな大事なことを黙ってたん？
I guess I understand, but why'd you keep something so important from us?
あの子を見失ったのは私の落ち度だ。ちゃんと自分で責任を取りたかったんだ。
It was my fault that I lost her. I wanted to take responsibility for bringing her back myself.
水臭いな。
You know me better than that. Daru's words were soft.
僕たち親子だろ。困った時は頼ってくれてもいいのだぜ。
I'm your dad. When you're in trouble, you can count on me.
父さん
Dad,
その子を探せばいいんだろ。だったら僕らも手伝う。な、オカリン。
you want to find her, right? So we'll help. Right, Ocarine?
なって俺もか。
What? Me too?
当たり前だろ。別に未来を変えてくれっつってるわけじゃないんだし、それくらいやってくれてもいいっしょ。
Of course. We're not asking you to change the future here. You can do this, right?
ま
Well... To be honest, after refusing all her requests to save the world, I was feeling a little bit guilty. I mean... There's an argument for you. Why is it you started feeling so guilty? Well, they did ask me about 20 times to save the world, and I kinda said no. You did what? Yeah, but I kick myself in the arse all the time, don't you start. I'd like to help her if I could, but... I wanted to know what she'd do after she found her.
で、その子の名前と年齢は？ちなみに可愛い女の子だよね。男とか言ったら父さん許さないぞ。
So, what's her age, name and age? And is she cute? Daddy will get mad if she's really a man.
女だよ。
She's a girl.
オッケー。名前とスリーサイズもやろう。
Okay, then give me her name and measurements too. I feel dirty. Ew.
3サイズなんて知らないよ。だって別れた時のあの子は10歳だったんだから。
I don't know her measurements. When I last saw her, she was 10. Ah, so she's either 22 or 23. I was very, very close.
幼女か。
A lolly, huh?
じゃあ今は22歳になってるはずだな。
Then she should be 22 now.
名前プリーズ。
Name, please!
名前はカガリ。椎名カガリって言うんだ。
Her name's Kagari. Sheena Kagari.
シーナ
Sheena? The name was an unusual one. A girl who was part of Daru's group in the future, who had the name Sheena.
鈴葉、まさかその子って。
Suzuha! Was that girl?
彼女の母親の名前は椎名真由里。
That's right. Her mother's name is Sheena Mayuri.
カガリは真由姉さんの子供なんだ。
Kagari's big sis Mayu's daughter. Mayuri's daughter? Of course. It was possible that Mayuri would choose to have a child in the future. But the fact that I'd never even thought about it made the shock that much worse. If she had a daughter, she must have had a partner. And that partner couldn't be me. Because I died in 2025. Well, if she's 10, and this came in 2036, we know it's not the story because of the orphan thing, but she could have been 1 year old before you died. Wait a second. If she was 10 in 2036, then she would have been born in 2026. Would she? I'd have to learn more, but if I died in 2025, wasn't it just possible, maybe, barely, that it could be me? That just couldn't be. Just like Suzuha had appeared before Daru, she was going to appear before me? Who was the dad? I couldn't ask.
あれちょい待ちシーナってことは名字はそのままってことだよねってことは
Huh? Wait a second. If her name was Sheena, then that means Mayushi didn't change her name, which means...
かがりは繊細孤児だよ。身寄りがなかった彼女をまゆ姉さんが引き取って育てたんだ。
Kagari is a war orphan. She had no relatives until Big Sis Mayu took her in. Because again, it would have been interesting if changing the plotline made it so that Mayushi was obviously a biological mother and Makabe was the father. And yes, no doubt there's fanfics exploring that. I'm not going to read them.
ああなんかそれまゆしらしいかも
That sounds like something she would do. I realized that I was relieved in more ways than one, and I hated myself a little for it. Even if she did marry someone else in the future, as long as that made her happy, it was for the best.
私はまゆ姉さんからかがりを頼むって言われたんだ。だからこんなことになっちゃいけなかった。
Big Sis Mayu told me to take care of Kagari, so this should never have happened.
あの子はいつだってまゆ姉さんにべったりだったし、この時代には知り合いなんているはずもないから、きっとずっと心細い思いをしてるはずなんだ。
She was always clinging to Big Sis Mayu, and she doesn't know anybody in this time, so I'm sure she's lonely.
その子はどうしてはぐれてしまったんだ。さっきトラブルと言ったが。
How did you get separated? You said there was some kind of trouble. If she'd come to a new era in the time machine at 10 years old, Suzuha would have been the only person she could rely on. There was no way she'd leave Suzuha and run off on her own.
私にもわからない。ただ過去に飛んでからのかがりは精神的にかなり不安定だった。
I don't know either, but she got really unstable after we jumped to the past. That made sense, come to think of it. A young girl, just 10 years old, was suddenly taken to a world where she knew no one. Of course she'd be scared.
その子の写真か何かはある
Do you have any pictures of her?
あ、うん。
Oh, yeah. She showed me a tattered picture with 2 girls on it. I actually quite like that. Because again, it clearly shows that the biology isn't there for one of the revelations we've had. I reckon she's going to come back now that we've gone on a different world line. I'm just interested as to how. One was an adult woman. I couldn't see her face, but maybe it was Miyuri, 20 years from now. Hiding behind her was another girl. Was that Sheena Kagari?
この子が22歳に成長してるわけか。いまいち想像がつかないな。
And now she's 22, huh? It's hard to imagine. That is, if she was still alive. Even if Japan was a safe, peaceful country, it would be hard for a young girl to get by on her own. If she was lucky, someone might take her in and give her to an orphanage. But if she wasn't... Suzuha was probably well aware of that possibility, so I didn't bring it up.
なおかりん 協力してくれよ。
Hey, Ocarine, help us out, okay?
マユリの養女なんだろう。だったら見つけてやりたいさ。
She's Mayuri's adopted daughter, right? I'd like to help.
でも鈴葉はいいのか？俺が手伝っても。
But are you okay with that, Suzuha? With me helping? I felt sure that Suzuha was disgusted with me. I had a chance to save the world and I had given up. But she want help from a person like that.
おじさんさえ良ければ人手は大いに越したことはないと思うから。
If you're okay with it, Uncle, the more people, the better.
そうか。だったら手を貸すよ。
I see. Then I'll help. Of course, I don't think this would make up for that.
ありがとう。
Thank you.
マユシーの養女がどうしたの？
What's this about Mayushi's daughter?
Yeah, just like in the other storyline, I had a feeling that might happen. Here we go. This could make things interesting. Everyone turned around at the sudden voice.
てるー。オカリン、本当に待っててくれたんだね。
Toot-toot-toot. Ocarine, you really did wait for me.
Miyuri.
どうしたの？
What is it?
The moment I saw her, I finally relaxed.
よかった。マユリ。
I'm so glad. Miyuri. I took her small hand in mine and felt the warmth. She was alive.
オカリン？
Ocarine?
すまない。
Oh, sorry.
別に嫌じゃないから大丈夫。
No, it didn't bother me, so it's okay.
マユ姉さん、いつからいたの？
Big Sis Mayu, how long were you here for?
今来たばっかりだよ。
I just got here.
I was careless. I was so focused on what Suzuha was saying that I didn't see Miyuri come into the room.
ねえねえ、マユシーの養女がなんとかって聞こえたけど、何の話をしてたのかな？
Hey, I heard you talking about Mayushi's daughter. What were you talking about?
それはその
That is... Crap. Miyuri knew that Suzuha was from the future, but telling her about her future daughter would be going too far. I needed to change the subject.
マユリはまだまだ幼い。つまり養女だと言っていたんだよ。な。
We were saying that you look so young you could be my daughter. Is that the best you can come up with? What the hell was that? Of all the excuses, that's almost as bad as trying to feign meow noises when we first met Ichinose. No, I take it back. That was more credible.
そうそう。マユシは養女かわいい。
Oh, right. Mayushi's a cute young girl.
童顔だってよく言われるんだ。ユキさんみたいに大人っぽくなりたいんだけどね。
Yeah, people tell me that I've got a young face a lot. I want to look grown up like Yuki though.
食べる量だけは立派に大人かもしれないな。
Well, you eat enough for 2 grown-ups.
えへへ。
That wasn't a compliment, Miyuri. But that was enough to distract her.
そうだ。食べ物といえば、オカリンはクリスマスに何か食べたいものある？
Oh, speaking of food, is there anything you want for Christmas?
クリスマス？パーティーのことか。
Christmas? You mean the party?
Yep.
別に何でもいいぞ。
Anything's fine.
食べられるものならな。
As long as it's food, though.
クリスマスパーティーか。
A Christmas party, huh?
すずさんは初めて？
Have you never been to one, Suzu?
私たちの時代はパーティーなんてやってる余裕なかったからね。
Where I came from, we really didn't have time for parties.
でも一度だけ父さんがどこからか美味しいチキンを調達してきてくれたことがあったっけ。
And I think there was one time when Dad got us a really good chicken from somewhere.
それをマヨ姉さんが調理するって言って父さんが止めて。
Big sis Mayu said she'd cook it, but Dad stopped her.
I know that apparently we know that apparently Mayashi knows that Scissorhands from the future, but should she really be pointing out that? Or am I reading too much into this? Suzuha was looking at Miyuri as if she was remembering the past. Or the future, as the case might be.
いつもよりほんの少しだけごちそうってだけだったけど、それでも嬉しかったな。
It really wasn't much more than we usually got. It did make me happy.
In the future, when World War III was going on, there probably wasn't much time for celebration. But even then, Miyuri was still Miyuri, trying her best to make everyone happy.
ダル君は何か欲しいものある？
Is there anything you want, Daru?
僕は可愛い女の子がサンタコスしてくれればそれだけでお腹いっぱいだお。
If I've got cute girls dressed up as Santa cosplay, that's all I need.
料理はどれくらいいるかな。
How much food do we need, you think?
ユキさんと一緒に用意する予定なんだけどね。そうだ、ルカ君やフェリシちゃんにも手伝ってもらおうかな。
The plan was to make it all with Yuki. Oh, I know! Maybe I'll have Luca and Ferris help too!
Miyuri's head was full of thoughts about the Christmas party, it seemed.
オカリンは誰かパーティーに呼びたい人いる？
Is there anybody you want to bring to the party, Ocarine?
俺は別に。
Me? I don't really... I almost said no, but then I remembered someone. Hyajo Maho. She said Christmas is something you always spend with your family, but...
オカリン？
Ocarine?
いや、特には。
No, not really. Ooh, that's interesting. So we're not going to have the scene where Leskin and Maho were at the party in this change in the world line. So does that mean we're not going to have the incident where Suzuha and Yuki almost come to blows? I'm intrigued now. Unless, of course, it's all a bluff. How is she going to spend her Christmas? It was after I walked Miyuri home. The second I was alone, I started thinking about this afternoon. If that really was a worldline change, then what was the cause? The most likely possibility was that someone had succeeded in developing something like the phone wave. We were able to make one. There was no reason someone else couldn't. Another possibility was that... No, there was no use in thinking about it. I was just mistaken. And even if the world line did change, we weren't the cause. We didn't have anything to do with it anymore. Whenever I was alone, I always ended up thinking about things that wouldn't do me any good. I took the phone out of my pocket and tapped the icon.
Hello.
Hello.
Marcuse's expression was as self-satisfied as ever.
こんな時間にどうかした？
Why are you calling at this hour?
いや、なんとなく話がしたくなって。迷惑だったか？
Nothing. I just felt like talking. Did I bother you?
別に迷惑ってことはないわ。 あんたと話すことは私のためにもなるんだし。
Not really. Talking to you is good for me, you know. She wasn't AI after all. She wouldn't be bothered no matter the hour.
先輩とは会ってきたのよね。
You met with Maho, right?
あ
Yeah.
何の話をしたの？
What did you talk about?
あ、何って、お前とのやりとりについて報告をしただけだが。
What? I just gave her my report about our conversations.
それだけ？どこかへ誘ったりは？
Is that all? You didn't invite her anywhere?
まだそんなこと言ってるのか？ヒアジョーさんに言ってみろ。また怒られるぞ。
Are you still going on about that? You better not tell that to Hyajo. She'll get mad at you.
だってようやく先輩にも運が向いてきたかもしれないんだもの。せっかくのチャンスを掴んでもらいたいでしょ。
But this is her big chance. I don't want her to waste it. Makase seemed insistent on getting me and Maho together. Sheesh. Doesn't she have other things to think about? Things to think about. Would she have anything to say about that other matter?
なあ、ちょっと相談なんだが、消息不明になった人を探すにはどうすればいい？
Hey, question for you. What's the best way to find a missing person? Talk to the cops. Put a post out on Facebook and say, please tag me if you find this person. I see a lot of that these days. A lot of kids in the UK, they disappear and everyone rounds up on Facebook saying, if you've seen her, please get in contact immediately. I actually really like it. It's one of the few times that social media actually has a positive influence, because seeing the stories that say they've been found is really heartwarming and very, very relieving. It's the one time I can abide social media.
随分と唐突ね。
That sure came out of nowhere.
身近でそんな話があったんだよ。
Some friends and I are trying to find someone,
でも、自分たちじゃどうすればいいのかわからなくてな。
but we don't really know what to do, you see.
詳しく教えて。
Tell me the details. She leaned forward, suddenly interested. She really was a curious girl.
それが、
Well,
言えないことなの？
you can't say anything?
俺だけの問題じゃないからな。
I'm not the only one involved,
それで相談に乗ってくれって言われても無理がある。
but I can't really help you like that, you know?
だよな。
You're right.
一般論でいいんだ。意見を聞かせてくれるだけで。
If you could just give me your general thoughts.
そうね。一番いいのは警察に行くことね。
Called it. Well, the best option is just to go to the police. That was the obvious and correct answer.
あとは更新所に頼むとか過去の新聞記事を当たるとか。あ、でもそういうことはもうやってるか。
Or a private investigator, possibly. Or look at old newspaper articles. But I guess you're already doing that. The newspaper articles one is a good call, actually. You'd be amazed, especially in 1998. If there's anything to do with, like, you know, strange sightings or anything of that nature. And let's not forget @channel too. Going on @channel, there could be some good things. So, private investigator. Company that investigates corporations or individuals, mostly commonly used to do background checks on prospective marriage partners or clients, to see if a spouse is cheating. Yep. I do know personally of someone who used a PI for another method, and it worked out in the end, but I don't want to say much more than that because it's not fair to broadcast it to the web. But you can use them for other things.
どうかな。
I don't know about that.
どうかなって。まさかそんなこともやらずに探そうとしてるの？
You don't know? You're trying to find someone, and you haven't even done that?
俺も今日聞かされたばかりなんだ。後で確認してみる。
I just heard about this today. I'll find out later. But Kagari was from the future. And Suzuha didn't have any personal documents in this era either. Which meant that it was unlikely she'd gone to anybody in the government.
アメリカなんかでは ダウジング屋として人探しをやるなんて人もいるよな。
Some people in America use dowsing and clairvoyance to find people, right?
まさかあんな何の科学的根拠もないものを信じるとでも？
Don't tell me you believe in that stuff. It has no scientific basis whatsoever.
いや、言ってみただけだ。
No, it was just something I thought of.
よかった。もしそうだとでも言ったら二度と話なんかしないところだったわ。
Good. If you said yes, I was never going to speak to you again. She really was just like Makise.
ありがとう。参考になったよ。
Thanks. That's a big help.
見つかることを祈ってるわ。
I'm praying you find her.
ああ、それと
Oh, and...
何？
what?
いや、なんでもない。
Oh, no. It's nothing.
何よ。気になるでしょ。
What? Now you've got me wondering.
本当になんでもないんだ。それじゃあ、今日はこれで。
It's nothing. Really. Anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow or something. Why was I just about to say that? I was just about to tell her about Mayuri's Christmas party, to see if she wanted to go. Makise was just an AI. She only existed inside of a computer. I guess I was just starting to see her as real.
どう？父さん。何か手がかりはあった？
Well, we're not changed perspective from what I can say. The fact that this chapter's called A Stray Sheep suggests we're going to find Kagure. The title Stray Sheep is just a bit too obvious to me. Of course, that could be a deliberate red herring. Well, Dad, any luck?
いや、残念ながらこっちは何にも。
Nope, sorry, nothing.
そう。
I see. The search for Mayuri's future daughter, Shina Kagure, was taking longer than expected.
一つ聞くが、警察には行ったのか？
Let me ask you something. Did you go to the police?
一応言ったんだけどね。でも、捜索願いなんかは出してない。
Yeah, I did. But there's no official missing persons report. I was right. In order to submit a missing persons report, you needed to have ID to prove who you were. That's why Suzuha hadn't done it. And also, I later learned that the only people who could submit a such request were people like family and significant others, who were close to the missing person. And that is stupid. Really stupid. Because what if there's been a big falling out, and the family aren't talking to each other? If that's true, that is absolutely stupid.
僕の方でも昨日軽く警察のデータベースにハッキングをかけてみたんだけど、それっぽい情報は出てこんかったよ。
Yesterday I did some light hacking at the police database, but I didn't find anything.
だろうな。
Yeah, I'm sure.
つうことは、オカリも見てみたん？
Did you look too then?
ダルのように内部情報を見たわけじゃないがな。
I didn't look at any internal data like you did, Daru, but yeah. There was a database of missing persons on the police homepage, but it didn't go back very far, and it didn't have a lot of information. All it had was age, sex, clothes, and sometimes possessions they were carrying. Since we knew nothing about Shina Kagure, we had basically nothing to go on. Then, ask Suzuha!
でもさ、一見平和に思えるこの世界でも、身元不明者や行方不明者ってたくさんいるんだね。
You know, this world may seem peaceful, but there sure are a lot of people who go missing. I thought the same thing. Each year, over 100 unidentified bodies were found in Tokyo alone. If you expanded that to cover all of Japan, then went back 12 years, you'd have a pretty big number. And the number of missing persons was far greater. Each year, almost 100,000 people went missing. And 1 out of every 5 was in their teens. Of course, most of them just ran away from home, and 70% were found within a week after a report was filed. But if 70% of them were found in the first week, that meant 30% of them weren't. In fact, 5% of them were never found at all, and no one ever knew if they were alive or dead. Perhaps Shiina Kagari was caught up in an accident or killed. Or perhaps... I sat up then got off the sofa.
Ocarine, どっか行くん?
Ocarine, where are you going?
もうちょっと調べてみようと思ってな。
I thought I'd do a little more research. School will be on break soon anyway, and it wasn't like I had anything to do. And while I hadn't been very interested at first, at some point I become really interested in the whereabouts of Shiina Kagari. And more than anything...
ありがとうオカリンおじさん。
Thank you, Uncle Ocarine.
別にこれくらい大したことじゃない。
No, it's nothing, really.
それでもありがとう。
No. Thank you, anyway.
As long as I was looking for Kagari, Suzuha probably wasn't going to bother me about the future. Having her bring up the same thing every time we met was hard for me. If I could get her focused on something else, that would make things easier. Or so I'd thought, but... Finding clues wasn't easy. Just in case, I'd gone to the National Diet Library and looked at articles on missing persons and crimes in 1998, the year she'd gotten separated from Suzuha. But I had no luck. National Diet, that'll be like the big library somewhere in Tokyo which has like archives going back 20 years. Yep, Japan's only national library consists of the main building in Tokyo, the Kansai branch in Kyoto, and several other branches throughout the country. The main building on 1st Avenue in Nagata, Kyoto Ward, is often called the Diet Library. All works published in Japan are kept here, and while normal citizens are allowed to view them, they do not allow books to be checked out. You can look, you can even touch, but don't you dare take it home. Means you don't have to worry about library fines. I actually got banned from a town library once because I borrowed a book as an 8-year-old. I never returned it. I went back after like 15 years to check something out and they went, "Oh, I'm sorry, we can't let you take any books out. You need to pay us for the book you borrowed 15 years ago." I told them it was more than 6 years ago, so they had to write the debt off. They went, "No, it's not our policy," and I went, "Oh, okay. Bye." Never went back. Suzuha said she'd been looking for Kagari every few years on her way to our time, so I knew it wouldn't be easy. But I couldn't help but feel a little tired and disappointed. Oh. Again, I didn't have a choice.
どうかした?
What's wrong?
Oh.
何?
What?
いや
Nothing.
Eh?
I called Makise without even realizing it, somehow.
ねえ、昨日よりさらに疲れてるみたいだけど、大丈夫?
Hey, you seem even more tired than yesterday. You okay?
そう見えるか。
Is that how I look?
声のトーンがいつもより低い。結膜に多少の充血も見られる。もしかして、昨日言ってた件を調べてたの?
Your tones drop lower than usual. I see your conjunctiva is slightly swollen with blood, too. Were you looking into that case you told me about yesterday?
まあな。
Yeah. I told Makise what I'd heard from Suzuha and Daru, and what I found at the National Diet Library.
バカね。そんなことなら私に言ってくれれば簡単にことは済んだのに。
You dummy. If that's what you were trying to do, you could have just asked me.
どういうことだ?
What do you mean?
私ならネットワークに接続してオンライン上の情報をリサーチすることができるでしょ?
I can access the network and research anything that's on the internet, you know.
あ、そうか。
Oh, that's right. I'd forgotten. She was an AI that existed inside a computer. So something like that would be easy for her.
なんなら少しやってみましょうか?
Want me to give it a try?
すぐにできるのか?
Can you do it right now?
それほど時間はかからない。
It won't take much time at all.
それじゃあ頼む。
Alright, give it a go.
わかった。少しだけ待ってて。
Sure. Just give me a second. What's she searching for? Unless he's told her in an off-screen conversation, how's she going to run the research? She's not got the details. Makise fell silent on the screen and didn't move for a moment. Maybe 30 seconds later.
もう結果が出たのか。
You're done already?
ネットワーク上で検索してみたけど、1998年以降、椎名かがりという名の女性が何らかの事件や事故に巻き込まれたという情報は得られなかった。
I searched the network, and nobody named Sheena Kagari's been involved in any accidents or crimes since 1998.
同姓同名の人物は3名ほど検出。ただ、年齢を考慮すると、その人物があんたの探している人である可能性は限りなく低い。
I found 3 people with identical names, but given their ages, they're almost certainly not the girl you're looking for.
ご要望なら、その人物のデータを後でメールで送るけど。
If you want, I can send you an email with their data later.
いや、いい。
No, that's fine. And again, when did he give her a name? I don't remember him telling her a name. When I start to think about it, even Suzuha would have been able to do search for her name on her internet. And what Makise was saying was almost certainly right. The Makise Karisu I had known was always right.
それじゃあ、私にできることは以上かな。あとは、あんたたちにしかできないやり方で探すしかないわね。
I think that's all I can do then. Now it's up to you to do only what you can do.
俺たちにしかできないやり方？
What can I do?
その人物がいなくなった場所の近辺で地道に情報を集めるの。究極的にアナログな方法だけどね。
Go gather information around the place where she disappeared. It's the ultimate in analog methods, though.
やっぱりそうなるか。
I guess you're right. Suza had been doing that forever, so I couldn't imagine I'd find anything new. But if that was my only option, then that was what I had to do.
にゃにゃ。キャーじゃなかった。オカリン
Meow! Kill! Oh! I mean, Ocarine!
I spun around when I heard a voice behind me.
やっぱりオカリンだにゃ。こんなところで何してるんだにゃ
I knew it was new, Nia! What are you doing here, Nia?
フェイリス、それに
Ferris and... Yep, Foy Marvin.
岡部さん
Hello, Okabe?
なんだ、珍しい組み合わせだな。
Huh? It's rare to see you two together, and Makise is looking right at them.
そしたらルカニャンが荷物いっぱい持ってたからそこまで手伝ってあげることにしたのにゃ
We just happened to run into each other over there, Nia. And Luke and Nian was carrying a heavy load, so I decided to help him, Nia.
I took a closer look and saw that Lukaku was holding bags in both hands. If you added in what Ferris was carrying, it was quite a lot. He was trying to carry this all alone? Lukaku?
ねえ、ちょっと。
Hey, excuse me.
今何か聞こえませんでしたか
Huh? Did you just hear something?
いや、これは別に何でも。
No, this isn't... I quickly hid the smartphone behind my back. No, there's nothing to see here. No. Yeah. No. It's all fine. What can I do?
ちょっと聞いてるの？ねえ。
Hey, are you listening? Hey!
また聞こえたにゃもしかしてさっきオカリンが話していたのはそれかに
There it is again, Nia! Is that who you were talking to a minute ago, Nia?
いや、これは
No, this is... It shouldn't matter if they found out.
Hey, wait!
But I still felt guilty, so I closed the Amadeus app.
ゃ電話中だったのにゃ
Were you on the phone, Nia?
ああ、ちょっと知り合いに相談事をな。
I was asking an acquaintance for some advice.
相談ですか
Advice?
そういうことだったんだにゃ
後ろから見たらオカリンが一人でブツブツつぶやいているように見えたからちょっと心配したにゃ。
So that was it, Nia. When I saw you from behind, it looked like you were mumbling to yourself. So I was a little worried, Nia.
Did I look like she needed to worry about me? But, well, if she saw me talking to my smartphone in a place like this, I guess I could understand that.
でも水臭いにゃ。何か困ったことがあるならフェイリスたちにも話してくれればいいのにゃ。
Anyway, if you're in trouble, you should have just come to Ferris, Nia.
そうです。僕じゃお役に立てないかもしれないですけど、でもお話くらいなら。
That's right. I might not be able to help, but I can at least listen.
ありがとう。でも大したことじゃ。
Thanks, really, but it's nothing. No, wait a second. Both Faris and Lukaku had lived in Akihabara since they were both born, and both of their families held important positions here. Maybe asking them wouldn't be such a bad idea after all.
実は今人を探してるんだが。
I'm actually looking for someone.
人ですか？
You're looking for someone?
I told them I was looking for a girl who'd gone missing 12 years ago in Akihabara. Of course, I didn't tell them that she was from the future, or that she was Miyuri's daughter.
その子がどうして行方をくらませたのか激しく疑問だにゃ。
I'm really interested in knowing why she went missing, Nia.
すまないがそのあたりの事情は話せないんだ。
Sorry, but I can't tell you that.
にゃー。
そういう話に心当たりはないかだけでも聞いてもらえれば助かるんだが。
If you could ask if anyone has any idea, that would be a huge help.
わかったにゃ。とりあえずフェイリスの方は黒木に聞いてみるにゃ。
Got it. I'll ask Kuroki, Nia.
Kuroki was her family butler. I'd met him several times. In the same way that Faris naturally looked like a maid, Kuroki just naturally looked like a butler. Come to think of it, it was rather strange for a maid to have a butler for a servant. I don't know, you learn the ultimate service from someone giving you one-to-one, and then you take their lessons and serve your business. It's no different than a chef who's a executive of a major fast food franchise learning from a major chef in a restaurant, so they have the best food preparation practices and the best ingredients. I'm stretching here, I admit, but
あとメイクインニャンニャンのご主人様たちにもそれとなく聞いてみるにゃ。
Oh, and I'll ask the masters at May Queen Nyan, Nia.
僕の方もお父さんとそれから氏子の方たちにも聞いてみます。
I'll ask my father as well as our parishioners.
悪いな。そうしてくれると助かる。
thanks. That would be a big help. Both Kuroki and Lukaku's dad knew a lot of people, and they had a far better chance of finding someone than we did. I hope they could at least find some small clue.
それはそうとルカ子。その山ほどの荷物はどうしたんだ？
Anyway, Lukaku, what have you done with Samadare? Pull it out and give me 30 swings now! Oh wait, he's not come back to life yet, has he? What's all this stuff?
これは昨日お父さんのお客さんが来るっていうお話はしましたよね。
Oh, remember how I said I had guests coming yesterday?
実はそのお客さんの一人がしばらくうちに滞在することになって。
One of those guests is going to be staying at our house for a while.
それで必要なものを買い揃えていたそうにゃ。
So we gotta get the things they needed, Nia.
Right, pardon me for a second, guys. Need to quickly stretch my legs. Won't be a sec. Also, want to keep my arm moving because streaming post-vaccine, not normally something I do, but you've all been waiting patiently. And besides, it allows me to have something to take my mind off it. It's the only issue I've got, by the way. Other people have been knocked out for days by it, but me, so far, aside from an annoyingly sore left arm, I'm okay. If they were a guest of Lukaku's father, they must be fairly old. And from what I'd heard yesterday, they probably had some unique hobbies.
それは大変だな。
That's rough.
いえ、僕もち ちょっと楽しいですし。
No, it's actually kind of fun.
Fun? Lukaku shed the same blood as his dad. So perhaps he had some latent interest in those hobbies. I did not want to read that. I imagine this is all going to toss me a red herring and be really innocent, but something about that just sounds creepy AF.
あんまりのめり込みすぎないようにするんだぞ。
Don't get too into it, okay?
Okay.
I gave him that warning, then went to leave. Well, I tried to leave, but
よいしょ。
I've got it. I got it.
ルカニャン、大丈夫かにゃ？フラフラしてるにゃ。
Look at Nyan. You okay? You're not even walking straight, Nya.
大丈夫です。僕だってこれくらい。
I'm fine. This is nothing.
よかったらお茶でも飲んでいってください。
Have some tea if you like.
いや、遠慮しておくよ。お客さんだっているんだろ？
no, I'll pass. You've got guests, right?
そうですけど。
That's true, but
And again, how did they do that? How did they make like Lukaku look so feminine? Don't get me wrong. I think it's awesome, but at the same time, how? I don't understand.
that's true, but
I couldn't bear to see him struggle like that, so I'd carried his bags to the shrine with him. Faris had gone back to her
それ
cafe.
にしても、この荷物、いくらなんでも一人で運ぶには無理があるだろう。
You know, I have no idea how you expected to carry all this stuff.
僕だって最近は少し力がついてきたんですよ。今日も岡部さんに言われた素振りだって。
I've gotten a little stronger lately. I've been doing the sword exercise you gave me. Okabe.
Sword exercises. That was the training I'd given him when he told me he felt too much like a girl.
精神残魔流か。
Seishin Zamba School, huh? Go on then, let's read the tip. The style of swordsmanship taught by Hoi Kiyoma to Urishibara Luka, the descendant of the ancient protectors of Akihabara. It also functions to strengthen the mind and quell the evil flames that work within Urishibara. Only the cursed blade Samidare can bring out its true power. One of its secret techniques is the Type 33 Cherry Blossom Rage. At least that's what Akabe said when he made it up. Embrace the Shinibiyu there. Embrace it right to the end. I like that. It was so stupid. I couldn't even laugh.
すみません。
I'm sorry.
Thinking back, I was amazed he put up with that nonsense.
ルカ、帰ったのかい？
Luca, are you home? I could hear his dad's voice from their home behind the shrine office.
はい、今行きます。
Yes, I'll be right there.
それじゃあ、俺はこれで。
Okay, I'll be going.
はい、ありがとうございました、岡部さん。
Right. Thank you, Okabe.
Lukaku bowed deeply as I left Yanabayashi Shrine. On my way home, I thought about what the two of them had said.
でも水臭いにゃ。何か困ったことがあるならフェイリスたちにも話してくれればいいのにゃ。
Anyway, if you're in trouble, you could have just come to Ferris, Nya.
そうです。僕じゃお役に立てないかもしれないですけど、でもお話くらいなら。
That's right. I might not be able to help, but I can at least listen.
I didn't realize until after they'd spoken. I had gone to Makise before I'd gone to anyone else. I'd brought up the app and started talking with her before I even realized it. She wasn't the real Makise. But that voice, the way she acted... all of it reminded me of Makise. All of it brought back the emotions I tried to hide. There was an incoming call on my phone. It was from Makise. Now the question here is, do I answer or not? Because it's not letting me save. Well, I've only just saved, to be fair. It's not letting me click on. Oh, I know why. Oh, it is letting me save. I was wondering why I couldn't get any movement then. Right. She was probably there to complain about me hanging up on her earlier. That'll be just like Makise. But I didn't answer the phone. I've deliberately done that because I want to see what happens. I didn't answer any of the other calls that came that day either. Then the United States of America, California. What? Christ, why do I have to do this report? The reporter, Jessica Edmund, had rushed to the scene at her director's order and she was pissed off about it. Jessica Edmund? California? Could she be the original Kagari that's abroad? I wonder. She dreamed of Hollywood and even been in a movie once. So how does she end up reporting on this crap? You're the one who said you wanted work no matter what it was. I did say that, but still. I'm giving a bratty failed actress a chance to do something productive with her life. I expect gratitude, not complaints. What did you say? Oh, what? Oh, what? Are you going to give up on the job and run away? You never see anything through, you know. You keep that up and you'll lose custody. She hated herself for not being able to say anything. Her stupid pride got in the way. She dreamed of being a Hollywood actress, but all she'd gotten was a small part in a B-movie. It had never gone anywhere after that. Then she had a kid and come back home. Still, she loved her kid. She wanted to make sure they were taken care of, no matter what she had to do. So, where is it? Back behind those bushes. Could this be Makise's mom, maybe? Now think about it. She'd had a kid, came home, and wanted to make sure they were looked after. But they said her name was Jessica Edmund, didn't it? So that wouldn't make sense because of the Makise name. So that doesn't make sense. Though I suppose if she got divorced and remarried. No, pieces don't fit. The pieces don't fit. She went into the bushes and there she saw it. Several bodies, all brutally mutilated. Is this CERN's experiments? Where they turned up as jellified people? No, it's...
このように国内において行方不明になっている研究者は今年に入ってから5名。そのうちの3名についてはアーティフィシャルインテリジェンスの研究を行っていたとされており。
5 scientists have gone missing this year, and 3 of the 5 were believed to have been researching artificial intelligence.
その背後には人工知能技術の発展に反対する原理的宗教主義者たちによる活動も影響しているのではないかとみて、当局ではさらに捜査を続けている模様です。
The authorities believe that the culprits may be radical religious fundamentalists who oppose the development of AI.
続きましては現場からのリポートです。ジェシカ。
And now we go live to the scene. Jessica?
こちら現場のジェシカ・エドモンドです。今朝早くこちらの現場で発見された遺体に関して当初人間のものと思われておりましたが、
This is Jessica Edmond, reporting live from the scene. The bodies found this morning were initially believed to be human.
その後の警察の調べによりますと、それがチンパンジーやオランウータンといった複数の猿の死体であることが分かりました。
But police investigations later revealed them to be chimpanzees and orangutans. Orangutans? Police investigation?
ただしこれらの遺体について一部脳および頭部が欠損しているものもあるとのことで、警察では猟奇的事件として地域住民への警戒を訴えており、
But the bodies are all missing their brains and parts of their heads. Police are warning locals that a maniac may be on the loose. I mean, if you're going to attack 5 gorillas and orangutans, you're going to be way beyond a maniac. You try getting close to them and doing what's happened here. Good luck. And now we're back to Wakabe. So we've had a brief interlude.
Oh, Okabe. お前、この後授業は?
Hey, Okabe, you got class after this?
いや、今日はもう終わりだよ。
Nope, I'm done for the day.
そっか。じゃ、どっかで飯でも食ってく?
You wanna go get some food somewhere?
どうせまたカレーだろ。キッチン東海か。
You just want curry again, don't you? Kitchen Tokai. A fictional, long-established Western-style restaurant in Jimbocho. Apparently it offers delicious food at a reasonable price, so at lunchtime it's filled with salarymen and students. The curry is especially popular. Kitchen Tokai. I'm trying to think what that could be a reference to. When I was in Japan, what kind of joints could that refer to? I honestly can't remember. I really can't. And that's annoying me. Right, I'm going to use this save slot. I'm going to keep the one where Lukaku is, and the other one where the call's coming through. Because I am going to go back through and see what happens by answering that call.
昨日ちょい臨時収入あったから、今日は豪勢にモンディーかな?
I got an extra bit of bonus yesterday, so maybe I'll splurge and go to Mondi. Mondi. Is that Londis? Nah, doesn't make sense. Curry restaurant in Jimbocho, famous for full-bodied European-style curry. But it's a little outside the price range of a college student. Comes with endless fries. Ooh, European curry and endless fries. Gimme, gimme, gimme!
俺はやめておくよ。今月ちょっとピンチだし。
I'll pass. I'm a little tight this month.
そっか。じゃ、また今度な。
Okay, maybe next time then. Sure. I was talking with my friends after class. I'd really started to get used to this. Before the summer, I'd felt really out of place at school, but now it didn't seem so bad. Back then, I thought I was special, but now I knew better. As long as you make the effort to fit in, you can find a place to belong. People can change. No, they change whether they want to or not. It was too late now, but I'd learned something about myself. It really was too late.
さてと、それじゃあ帰って。ん?
Anyway, time to go. Huh? As I headed for the exit, I realized that I recognized one of the people passing through my field of vision. That was
レスキネン教授?
Dr. Leskinen. My college went out of its way to attract exchange students, so it wasn't unusual to see foreigners. But still,
いない.
he's gone. I hurried after him, but the person I just saw was already gone. Was I just mistaken? Come to think of it, the professor being here wouldn't be strange. He might have come to meet with my advisor, Izaki. Izaki had wanted to get to know him.
今度教授に会ったら聞いてみよう.
Next time I see him, I'll ask. I glanced in the direction he'd gone, and then left the school for Akihabara. When I came out of the turnstile, the radio building was right in front of me like always. The time machine that Suzuha used to come here was probably still on the roof. Yeah, so that's basically like a radio world. So you got radio, the world of radio, Sakai no Radio, and then something Akihabara. So it's like basically the world of radio's Akihabara branch. That's what that is roughly translated to. Very rough being the key words there. Even if people didn't go up there often, it was still amazing that no one had found it after so long. Of course, that was all thanks to Faris. She'd rented out the roof of the building and sealed it off. Of course, I hadn't come here to look at the time machine. I got a message from Lukaku and Faris after I'd left the lab last night. Both of them had asked, and neither of them were able to get any information for me. It made sense when I thought about it. If there was a missing persons report, somebody might remember the police doing something, but there wasn't. But Faris had said something interesting.
But I did hear about a ghost with twin tails, nya?
A ghost with twin tails? I'm going to hell for saying this line, but here we go.
Yeah, that's right! Supposedly he appears every few years and asks people if they've seen a little girl, nya? No matter how many years pass, its appearance doesn't change. Some people call it the ghost with twin tails, nya?
Well, twin tails is ponytails, like, you know, pigtails, like Faris has. We call it pigtails over in the UK, but it's known as twin tails in Japan. It's a part of the, it's just the way it's referred to. So it sounds like a girl with side ponytails is asking questions. And if they've never changed appearance, that would suggest they're passing through time. So they've been seen around here, and it would make sense when you think about it, with the time machine being on the roof. That was definitely Suzuha. What would she do? She knew people thought she was a ghost. I held back a laugh as I tried to imagine it, and then headed for the radio building. My goal, of course, was to find information on Kagari. This was where she'd vanished, which meant this was where I was most likely to find clues. I went around to each store inside the radio building and asked, but didn't learn anything. Of course, Suzuha would have done the same, so I didn't expect much. But that didn't mean I could just stop. The parts shops. The commercial facilities. Even the back alleys. Even after all that, I went all around Akihabara asking people about Kagari. But I didn't learn anything useful. Some people told me the same story about the ghost in Twin Tails, but no one knew anything about Kagari. If a little girl was kidnapped or got into an accident, somebody might witness that. But going missing was a different thing. If Shina Kagari vanished of her own free will, all anyone would see was a 10-year-old girl walking down the street. Nobody would remember that 10 years later. I tried to think again if there was a better way. It really makes me sad to say, but that's actually true about how people would only see a girl or a boy or whatever walking down the street. In the UK, there's a really famous case of a child who left their home somewhere in the north of England, got on a train, sat opposite an adult all the way through, got off in London, never been seen again. It's been over a decade. And of course, I heard about a case in Canada where a girl seemed to be like, furrying about through school, but turned up at a random bus station and then vanished. Never been seen again. And it's really sad. It's really sad when people go missing, because what makes them disappear? What kind of trouble did they get into? Who looks after them? Does anyone look after them? Are they alive? Are they not? The family's left behind. That's what have they done to cause it? It must be horrible. I mean, Kagari in this case at least doesn't have that technically, but I always find the stories of people who go missing really, really sad. If the police and government weren't of any use, that left Someone connected to the underworld.
裏世界ね。
The underworld, huh? As soon as I said it aloud, I drove the idea from my mind. How stupid. That's something the old me would have thought of. I'd given that stuff up.
そういえば。
Come to think of it. I'd run all over Akihabara looking for something once before. I wasn't looking for a person then, but a thing. The IBN 5100. Meanwhile, Queen Checking is saying, yay, here. Well, good evening to you. I've essentially, on this path, I've done something a bit interesting. I turned my phone off at the shrine and triggered a new chapter called Stray Sheep. Now, earlier on today's date, the 17th, I got a call from Amadeus, which I did not pick up. And it brought up a scene involving some bizarre apes that were found dead in California. And now I'm back as Akabe. So I'm wondering what route I've gone on now, to say the least. 6 months ago, in the Alpha worldline, I'd gone looking for the same thing that Suzuha had searched for in the past. Back then, that's right, Makise was with me. When Makise and I had learned that there was an IBN 5100 in Lukaku's storeroom, we'd worked together to carry the heavy thing. Don't work forwards, then I have to work backwards. Let's work sideways. And oh right, is that a outcome you've not seen before? Well, I've kind of spoiled it, so I apologise. But you can always check out the archive footage to see exactly what I mean. Thinking back, all she'd ever done was complain. She was strong-willed, bratty, and hated to lose, but she was still so lonely. Once again, I'd taken my phone in my pocket without realising it. Amadeus. Since I hadn't picked up on any of her calls yesterday, she hadn't called at all today. I stared at the Amadeus icon for a moment, and then put my phone back in my pocket. When I got back to the lab, I saw that Daru was completely exhausted. There was no need to even ask. It was obvious he hadn't found a single clue. Susan had been doing this for over half a year, so her face didn't betray her emotions anymore. Daru didn't even bother asking me how it went. He could probably tell from the look on my face.
考えてみたらさ、これまでだって鈴葉がそれなりに探してたわけでさ、それを僕ら素人が今更また蒸し返したところで新しい発見なんてあるわけないんだよな。
When you start to think about it, Suzuha's been working pretty hard at this. We amateurs aren't exactly going to find something new on our own. That's a good question, Queen. Let me find out. I'll quickly do a save here. Nope, still a stray sheep. As you can see right there, that slot there I am keeping purely because it's at the point that she's calling. You can see the icon, the A icon. So I'm keeping that to find out what else happens by doing it another way. It might well be that it's a non-divergence, but you get a different scene. But I'm curious either way. Darius said what I've been thinking, but trying not to say.
手伝ってくれてありがとう。これ以上無理はしなくていい。捜索は私だけで続行するよ。
Thanks for helping. You don't need to waste any more time on this. I'll keep looking on my own. Suzuha evidently had no intention of giving up.
いや、ちょっと待って鈴葉。僕が言いたいのはさ。
No, wait a second, Suzuha. What I'm trying to say is...
父さんたちに無理させるわけにもいかないから。かがりの件は私の責任なんだし。
I can't let you guys keep working so hard at this. What happened with Kagari is my responsibility.
バカ言うなよ。子供の責任は親の責任だろ、ジョコ。
Don't be silly. If the kid's responsible, the parent's responsible. Duh. And fair play, Queen. Yep, that's fair enough. Absolutely.
父さん。
Because again, you don't want to see it with my pontificating, you can go watch the long play on Queen 3210 channel. You just want to see the dialogue. You want to see it played raw. Without me hamming it up. Dad.
ね、今のどう？かなりパパっぽかったと思うんだけど、なんならパパ大好きって言って抱きついてくれてもいいのだぜ。
Hey, how was that? I think I was a pretty good daddy there. If you want to hug me and tell me how much you love your daddy, go right ahead. Watching these two always gave me a strange feeling. For a while after they first met, they were complete strangers. And now they were father and child. And age-wise, they were exactly the same. Maybe I couldn't understand how Suzuha was feeling, but I had no idea what Daru was going through.
とにかく僕が言いたいのは、ただむやみやたらに探したところでダメだろってこと。
Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is, just searching around randomly isn't going to get you anywhere.
じゃあどうしろと言うんだ？
So what are we supposed to do?
餅は餅屋って言うでしょ。こういうのはやっぱ専門家に頼むのが一番だと思うんだよね。
You ask someone who knows this stuff. The best way to handle this is to go to a specialist.
専門家？
A specialist?
こういうのはある程度裏の世界の情報にも精通してる人に頼むのが一番だろ、上皇。
The best way to do this is to talk to someone who knows the underworld, duh. Absolutely, Queen. Yep, he ruins it straight away. And again, it's a bit strange that, as you say, Suzu calls Daru dad, considering that, yes, she's actually older than him. Time is a lie, people. I realized they come up with the same idea I had. My head hurt.
心当たりがあるの？
Do you know someone like that?
ち、父さんを甘く見ないでほしいな。僕はオタだけど顔は広いのだぜ。
Shit. Don't underestimate your daddy. He may be an otaku, but he's well known in certain circles.
横幅も広いけどな。
Oh, I'm not reading that line. Fuck off, Akabe. Dick move. Fuck you.
茶化すなっつーの。
Don't make fun of me, man.
っていうか本気で言ってるのか？本気で裏の世界の人間とやらにつながりがあると？
And anyway, are you serious? Do you really know someone with underworld connections?
ちょっと連絡取ってみる。
I'll see who I can find. Before Suzuha could respond, he took out his phone and started typing a message to someone. Was he serious? And was text messaging the preferred way to get in touch with the criminal underworld? Yes, because they use burner phones. They don't register them, they take their mission and they dispose of them. Yes, it's why some countries try to ban pay-as-you-go, and I think, ironically, Japan is one of them. I don't think you can actually get a prepaid cell phone in Japan for that reason. It's to help prevent crime. Over here in the UK we have a serious problem at the moment with what's called county lines crime, where essentially kids and vulnerable people get recruited by criminals to cross into another county using burner phones to traffic things. Really serious problem we've got over here in the UK at the moment.
どう思う？おじさん。
What do you think, Uncle?
実際にそういう人物が本当にいるのなら頼んでみてもいいとは思うが。
If someone like that really exists, it can't hurt to ask them. In fairness, being a hacker was a pretty underworld sort of occupation too. If I knew someone like him, it was quite possible that the person he said he knew really existed.
よし、送信と。あとは返信が来れば。
Okay, sent. Now we just wait for a response. Oh.
え？もう返事が来たの？
Huh? It's back already?
今からそっちに向かいますって。
Yeah, say she's on her way. There's no way he's friends with Kiryu Moeka, surely. There's no way he's a contact of Moeka's. Yuki won't say she's got underworld connections, it's too big of a revelation. So I'm trying to think who else it could be. Won't be Ferris, surely. Then again, Ferris knows fucking everybody.
随分と話が早い相手だな。
She's pretty fast, isn't she? That's what's got me nervous about Kiryu Moeka, that she's fast. It sounds like Shining Finger, but surely Daru is not connected to her. If he is, what the fuck's he doing?
遅いよりはいいんじゃね?
Better than slow, isn't it? That was true. Daru was sending another message. He was probably telling her where we were. Now all we had to do was wait for her arrival. And then the phone rang. Oh. Not Daru's phone, my phone. Was it Makase again? I picked it up and it was Lukaku. That was rare. When he wanted to talk to me, he always went through Miyuri, or sent a message via text or line. Or, wait, could Daru's underworld contact be Lukaku? Maybe there was a taxi information connected to all the shrines in Japan, and Lukaku was one of its members. Nah. My old habits were coming back. It would be rude not to pick up, wouldn't it? Does the game give me the option not to pick up? Believe it or not, I can choose not to pick up.
もしもし、ルカ子か?
Hello, Lukaku.
あ、岡部さん。すみません。今、大丈夫ですか?
Okabe. Sorry. Are you free right now?
おう、どうした?
Yeah, what's up?
実は、僕、岡部さんに相談したいことがあって。
Actually, there was something I wanted to talk to you about.
相談?
Something you wanted to talk to me about?
今からお会いしてもらえないでしょうか?
Can I come over now?
今から。電話じゃ言いにくいことなのか?
Now, is it something you can't say on the phone?
はい、少し。
Yes, kind of.
Right now. Would it be okay to leave this to Daru and Suzuha?
悪い。これから客が来ることになっているんだ。
Sorry, someone's coming over now. I was interested to see what kind of person Daru's friend was. I didn't even get a choice. I was expecting a choice there.
そうですか。
I see.
その後からじゃダメか?
Can it wait until after that?
その後は僕も用事があって。
I've got something to do later.
そうか。
I see.
それじゃあ。
So, how about...
Just as Lukaku was about to say something... heavy boots. I heard sharp footsteps coming up the stairs. And then a knock.
はい、どうぞ。
Come in!
悪い、ルカ子。お客が来たようだ。後で連絡を。
Sorry, Lukaku. She's here. I'll talk to you later. And then I stopped. What? The person who opened the door, it was...
こいつ、また。
Her. Again? So now I was right. Why is she connected to Daru? That makes no fucking sense. I'm intrigued now. I'm very intrigued. She was the only one that made sense with the speed, but at the same time I just don't understand how they'd be connected. Especially since she's the... maybe she's trying to suck him into a web, I don't know. It was Kiryu Moeka. I hadn't seen her since the ATF seminar, and she still has that dodgy shirt which kind of amplifies a certain part of her body.
岡部さん、どうしたんですか?
Okabe?
岡部さん?
What's wrong? Okabe?
お茶どうぞ。
Have something to drink.
Moeka was silent, with her head tilted slightly forward. Seeing her caused a dull ache within me, like my heart was being squeezed dry.
うして。
Why? Why was she here with Daru? I had any number of doubts in my mind.
どうしたんオカリン？
What's wrong, Ocarine?
いや、
Nothing. Moeka tilted her head a bit to the side, and I quickly averted my eyes. There was no connection between CERN and us anymore. So she wasn't going to kill Miyuri. She wasn't going to kill Miyuri. She wasn't going to kill Mayuri. She wasn't going to kill her. I said it to myself over and over again, and finally started to relax.
おじさん、顔色悪いよ。大丈夫？
Uncle, you look pale. You doing okay?
気にしないでくれ。それよりもダル、説明してくれ。
Don't worry about me. Anyway, Daru, can you explain what's going on?
ああ、この人は桐生氏。ヘンプロのライターさんだよ。
Oh, this is Kiryushi. She's an edit pro writer. Go on, let's check out the tip then. Editing production. Editing producers do special projects and editing work for a variety of publishing companies. So he apparently knows her by editing reasons, does he? Don't like this. Don't like this at all.
桐生萌香です。
Kiryu Moeka.
She silently handed me her business card, which had the name of a company called Arc Rewrite on it. Yep, I remember that from the first game. That's how she approached us. An editing production company located in Akihabara, and it primarily does articles for computer magazines. And that's why she was asking about the IBN 5100. But why is she here? Daru gave me a brief explanation to me and Suzuha.
なあ、ダル。お前はどうしてこの人と知り合いに？
Hey, Daru, how did you meet her? And yep, so you were confused too. Okay, I'll ride it on Queen and see what happens.
前にさ、桐生氏と担当してる雑誌で秋葉関係の都市伝説を扱った特集があったんだよね。
Her magazine once did a special on Akihabara urban legends.
その時に僕のバイトのこと取材したいって申し出があってさ。
And so I got a request to talk about my part-time job.
僕のバイトってほら、あんま大きな声で言えないやつっしょ。だから取材に関しては丁重にお断りしたんだけど。
It's not something I could really talk about, you know. So I politely refused, but...
ただ、僕って普段から足がつかないようにかなり注意してるんだよね。なのに桐生氏はその僕にたどり着いた。それが気になって。
I normally try to make myself hard to track down, but Kiryushi was able to find me. That got my attention.
で、会ってみたらこの通り、すげえ美人さんだったわけだ。
And once I met her, as you can see, I found out she was really hot. Yes, Daru, we believe you.
都市伝説を追う美人ライターとか燃えざるを得ないだろう、上皇。
A hot writer who tracks down urban legends? Isn't that the most anime thing ever? Actually, no. I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I was messing about earlier today on social media and they had their advertising algorithm. And it advertised me something which made me stop in my tracks, laugh my arse off, and then refuse to go anywhere near it. And it was the most anime thing in the world. It was a phone stand, which was an anime bunny girl crouched down forward, so you could literally put your phone where her buttocks is and rest it between the legs so you can watch your phone. Piece of advice, kids. Don't buy one. There are too many questions that will bring up. And that's how they'd met. Suzuha was frowning as she saw how Daru acted around Moeka. She didn't say anything, but I could tell she was thinking that he'd be better off directing his attentions towards her mom. Moeka, for her part, seemed completely uninterested in Daru. She was wearing her usual poker face and fiddling with her phone. She's still using a Japanese feature phone instead of a smartphone, huh?
まあ専門ってわけじゃないけど秋葉についてはかなり詳しいみたいだし結構裏の方の事情も知ってるっぽいから頼んでみるのもありかなって。
Well, it's not exactly her specialty, but she knows a lot about Akihabara. Especially about some of the underground stuff, I guess. So I thought it might be worth asking her.
人探しそう聞いた。
You're looking for someone. That's what I heard.
実はね12年前に秋葉でいなくなった女の子を探してほしいんだお。
Yep. Actually, I want you to find the girl who went missing 12 years ago in Akihabara. Daru told Kiryu Moeka the basic story. She was dead silent the whole time, but she typed his words into her phone with incredible speed. I said nothing and just watched. She was once around her. She probably still was. Was it okay to trust her? No. Absolutely not. It was just a coincidence I'd run into her here. I knew that in my head, but my heart refused to just accept it. Here in the Beta worldline, we'd never encountered Moeka Kiryu before. Of course we hadn't. I'd chosen the Beta worldline so that we wouldn't. Even though the cost was Makise Kurisu's life.
つまりその椎名鏡という人を探せばいいの。
In other words, you want me to find this Sheena Kagari person?
そういうことどうかな。
That's right. Can you help?
やってみてもいい。
I can try.
マジ？
Seriously?
でも見つかるかはわからない。
But I don't know if I'll find her.
もちろんその場合はしょうがないよ。
Of course. If you can't, you can't. Normally, Moeka and I would have never run into each other like this. Of course, we might have crossed paths in Akihabara. We almost ran into each other when she'd come to interview Dr. Leskinen and Maho at the 80th seminar. But I'd convinced myself that we were never going to meet each other directly. Was this fate? Was she and I fated to cross paths at some point? If that was the case, maybe it was better not to try to avoid her, but to watch her to see what she did. As I listened to Daru talk to her, that was what I started to think.
じゃあ報酬は成功報酬でその他の必要経費はこっちで持つってことで OK?
So we'll pay you if you succeed, and then any other necessary expenses, okay?
問題ない。
No problem.
オカリンもスズハもそれでいい？
Ocarine, Suzuha, you two okay with that?
私は手伝ってもらえるなら文句はない。
If she can help, I'm not going to complain.
俺も構わない。
I don't mind either.
じゃあ契約成立ってことで一つ。
It's a deal then. Moeka nodded slightly, then asked us for information about Kagari that might be a clue. Stuff like the clothes she was wearing when she disappeared and what she looked like. After that, she left. All the tension suddenly drained from my body as I sank into the sofa.
おじさん、本当に大丈夫？
Uncle, are you sure you're okay? Yeah, I don't trust the fact that she works for them. Don't trust it. Too many red flags. Way too many red flags, Queen. But we shall see. I have changed the world slightly, so who knows?
大丈夫だ。少し緊張しただけだから。
I'm fine. I was just a little nervous. It was a little late, but I took some anxiety meds out of my pocket and swallowed them.
おじさん、さっきの桐生萌香って人のこと知ってたんだね。
Uncle, you knew that Kiryu Moeka girl, didn't you?
Huh? She could tell?
マジで？オカリンいつの間に？
Seriously? When did that happen, Ocarine?
どうしてそう思ったんだ？
Why did you think so?
見ていればわかるよ。
I could tell by looking at you.
I guess you have to be pretty sharp to survive on the battlefield.
いや、知らない人だ。
No, I don't know her.
アルファ世界線では知ってた。
Did you know her in the Alpha worldline?
わかった。これ以上は聞かないけど、私なりに警戒はしておくよ。
Okay, I won't ask any more, but I'll do my best to keep an eye on her.
Thank you, best girl. I knew I could count on you. I absolutely knew I could count on you.
それでいい。今はな。
That's enough for now.
一体何のこと？
What are you guys talking about?
緊張したっていうことさ。
I got nervous, is all.
わかるわ。桐生氏は美人で巨乳でスタイル抜群でメガネ属性まで持ってるもんな。しょうがない。
I understand that. She's hot, has giant boobs, great proportions, and she even wears glasses. You can't help it.
Aru, I don't care if you're trying to break the tension. That always makes me want to puke.
そうだな。
That's right. If she was part of my life now, I would just have to use her as best I could. Maybe it's because she was gone, or maybe it's because of the anxiety meds, but I calmed down enough to start thinking that way. Of course, who knew if I'd feel the same way the next time I saw her face to face? And speaking of face to face, call Lukaku, you piece of shit. Ah, now we're in control of Maho. Want to do a quick save here on another slot. Oh, there's no data on that page. Fine, I'll use that one then. Yeah, you knew that was coming. Queen, it's a trope, but it's one that I have to do because it's the only way I can wash the bleeding bitterness away. The Japanese office of the Global Brain Science Comprehensive Research Organization in Wako City, Saitama. Hiajo Maho had tried her best to hold back a yawn, but in the end, she'd given up and opened her mouth so wide it covered well over half her face. I've done that the whole... I read that voice line before it happened. One reason was that she'd gotten caught up in talking to Makise last night, and only ended the conversation after it was late into the night. At first they'd been discussing the research and experiments she'd been doing, but at some point she'd gotten sidetracked into talking about Akabe Rintaro. Evidently he'd been ignoring calls from Makise for the last few days. Makise was much madder at him than she was when he'd ignored her the first 8 times. It was the first sign of femininity that she'd ever seen from Makise Kurisu. It was cute enough that Maho couldn't help but take the chance to get back at her for all the teasing she always did. She'd ended up staying a lot later than she'd intended. And since she was too energised to sleep by that point, she'd gotten out Kurisu's old laptop. She started to fiddle with it, to see if there was some way to crack the password. And the next thing she knew, it was morning.
パスワードね。
A password, huh?
やっぱりプロにでも頼んだ方がいいのかしら。
Maybe we'd better to ask a professional. Ah, so this is how it falls into Daru's hands.
何の話だい？
What's up now?
Yeah?
She suddenly heard a voice behind her and almost jumped out of her chair.
そんなに驚くことないじゃないか。
Is it really that surprising?
教授、戻ってたんですか？
Professor, you're back!
ついさっきね。
Just now. He raised up his hands and showed her some plastic bags from a nearby convenience store. Speaking of which, I want to quickly check my data. Yeah, we're still in a stray sheep. We're not going completely off track yet. We're still here. He'd left to go get lunch just 10 minutes ago, and she'd been sure he wouldn't get back for a while.
それにしても日本のコンビニは食べ物の種類がいっぱいで本当に素晴らしいね。
You know, Japanese convenience stores have so many foods to choose from. It's truly wonderful. And that's absolutely true. You can go in there and get everything from like onigiri and sushi to pre-made sandwiches to noodles, ramen noodles, eggplant. And the best thing is, you can actually ask them to cook it for you. So if you're on the go as a salaryman between the office, you can go out to a Lawson's or to a 7-Eleven and then pick up some noodles. They'll cook it for you. You can sit on the street, eat your lunch and go back to your desk. I didn't go back to my desk, but I did it when I was going between concerts.
毎日違う弁当を食べても1週間もすればすぐに新しい弁当が出る。
You can eat a different box lunch every day. And a week later, you'll have new ones to choose from.
しかも店によっても味が違うから毎日コンビニでも飽きないよ。
And each store's got its own flavor, so you can get your food from them every day if you want. That's not true. The chain convenience stores don't have their own flavor. It's pre-packaged to the max.
コンビニのお弁当ばかり食べていると栄養偏りますよ。
Pardon me, I actually need to stretch my legs again. Oh no. By standing up, I've just seen something. That coffee is 2.5 hours old. It doesn't smell good. Here we go. Oh yeah. Oh. That's a way to test if you're still alive, people. Holy shit. Oh god. Oh no. Oh.
If you keep eating box lunches from convenience stores, you're going to get fat.
And absolutely, Queen, yep, Leskina's mind is indeed blown. Everybody else who's been there is like, it's nothing special, mate, but first time you go, it's something different.
それでもアメリカの食事に比べればかなりヘルシーだよ。
It's still healthy compared to American food.
第一、食事についてのお説教だけは魔法には言われたくないね。
Also, I don't think you have the right to lecture anyone about their eating habits. Yeah. Queen, what have we learned? Never let you guys choose the challenges. I learned that a long time ago. He was right. Nutrition wasn't an important consideration for Maho. In fact, she ate most of cereal and meal replacement shakes, which made her diet very unhealthy. Ooh. Oh wow. Ooh. Eating a lot of meal replacement shakes means you'll spend a lot of time in the bathroom. That's all I'm going to say.
ところで何をプロに頼むって？
By the way, what do you want to ask a professional for help with?
あれはなんでもないです。なんでも。
Oh, that, it's nothing.
Yes, there's also keep the coffee in mind. That's very true, Queen, but my first point stands. Now, Avian, you chose the challenge. I was the one who accepted it. I accepted the challenge. I regretted it, but I accepted it. It wouldn't bother her if Leskinen found out. But for some reason, she suddenly decided not to tell him.
そうかい？私でできることなら力になるよ。
Yeah, if there's anything I can do to help, I will.
ありがとうございます。その時はお願いします。
Thank you. I may take you up on that.
She stood up and headed for the door.
魔法、どこへ行くんだい？
Maho, where are you going? And yes, Avian, I'm sure you did. But you didn't have to do it for the first 8 hours of the stream, did you? Behind that, you're like going, I regret nothing. And I would believe you'd be correct to take that stance.
気分転換も兼ねて秋葉原に行こうかと。
I'm going to Akihabara to get some fresh air.
気分転換で行くにしては随分遠いね。
That's a long way to go just for some fresh air. If she's been there for more than 24 hours, she needs to.
ウィンターローに会いに行くと素直に言えば許可しよう。
If you just admit you're going to see Lintalo, I'll permit it.
そんなんじゃ。
It's not like that.
違うのかい？
It's not.
ついでに会いに行ってもいいですけど。
I might go see him while I'm there.
Makabe had a laboratory in Akihabara. Makase had told her that last night. She'd said something about how he'd been avoiding it for a long time and only recently started going there again. Yeah, you did regret it. It ruined coffee for one day. It ruined coffee for me for a little longer than that, I must admit. Yes. I was there, Gandalf. I was there 6 months ago. Maho was a little interested in it too.
言っときますけど違いますからね。そういうのじゃないですからね。
Just so we're clear, it's not like that. It really isn't.
私はまだ何も言ってないよ。
I haven't said a word.
というわけで、今日は研究は休みます。
Anyway, I'm taking the day off.
ウィンターローによろしく。
Tell Lintaro I said hi. First Makise and now the Professor. Why did they keep trying to make everything about romance?
っていうか、ああいうのもセクハラよね。今の世の中じゃ。
And anyway, isn't that called sexual harassment these days?
For one thing, she wasn't going to Akabe's lab just to visit him. She wanted to see him again and see if she could get any hints about the password. He had said he didn't know, but he'd probably be able to come up with more than she could on her own. So, I'd say if I ever do it again, that seems like an easier challenge, I must admit, Avian, yes. And I'd say I will probably do one again at some point, it's just not immediately on the plans. I'd have to decide the game for it again as well. I got lucky with the game last time, I'd have to find something that's of a similar length or multiple games that would fit in the same kind of span, if you know what I mean. That was what she'd thought after seeing how he interacted with Amadeus. You could call it a woman's intuition. She was thinking about that when she changed trains and got off at Akihabara Station.
Huh?
She felt like someone was watching her and spun around. It was a weekday, but the station was crowded. She looked around at all the people, but none of them seemed to be paying her much attention.
気のせいよね。
I must have imagined that, right?
She whispered to no one in particular as she started to walk again. Marcus had told her the location of the Future Gadget Lab. She wasn't that familiar with the layout of Akihabara, but if she needed to, she could ask her for directions. But what if she came in unannounced and Akabe wasn't there? That bothered her a little. But she decided she could just leave if that happened. Her eyes lingered on the junk parts lined up in the bins at the shops as she walked, when... She felt someone looking at her again. But when she turned around, she still didn't see anyone. She started walking again, then went around the corner into an alley. And then she was sure of it. Footsteps. She could hear them behind her. Of course, that was nothing special. Yeah, Queen, it is too late to point out, and that wouldn't happen for one very simple reason. Temperature. Doing 24 hours, I would need to keep the heat going, and it'd be very difficult, and you have to have it for that length of time. It will be a summer thing, because it'll be a lot easier to get the sleep prep and everything else. Also, there's going to be less chance of people watching on New Year. I'm not saying that we won't be doing a New Year's Eve stream, by the way. There's an outside possibility one might happen, but I'm not saying any more at this moment in time. All will be revealed, is all I'm going to say. Potentially. Maybe. She would often be out walking at night and hear footsteps behind her. She'd speed up her pace, only to see an irritated man walk past a moment later. But this time, for some reason, she was sure it wasn't that. She decided to try walking faster, and found the footsteps went faster too. When she went slower, so did they. Now, what you do at this point, if you think someone's following you, here's your strategy. You actually go into a store, and you go to like a coffee shop, for example. You buy a coffee, and you sit opposite the door. And you just sit there, drinking coffee. Spend 3 hours if you need to. No tail is going to wait that long. And you two raise a very fair point in the chat, but as I say, there is a possibility. I'm not going to say much more, because it depends on something that's outside my control at this moment in time. And that's the key part, at this moment in time. Whenever she saw a scene like this in a movie, she imagined that she'd just kicked the guy in the face. Now that it was actually happening, she was too scared to turn around. She fumbled for the phone in her pocket. The idea of calling the police never occurred to her, and it wouldn't have been much help, let's be honest. The only thing she thought of was the name of the man she was trying to meet. She picked it out of her call history and pressed the button with trembling fingers.
Please!
The footsteps overlapped with the sound of the ringing. So is he the one following her? With the phone ring overlapping with the footsteps.
Okabe, help me!
The footsteps were almost on top of her. Just when she couldn't take it anymore and was about to start running. Hello. She heard a voice coming from the other side of the phone.
Hello, Okabe, it's me, Hiyacho! I'm right next to your lab!
But she didn't get to say another word. By the time she'd realised that someone had grabbed her from behind, the phone had already slipped from her hands. Oh no, alright, okay. I wasn't expecting that.
これは
What's this? I asked Kiryu Moeka as I took the paper she offered me silently. She'd contacted Daru just 10 minutes ago and told her she was on her way to the lab. and she'd arrived right at the same time she said she would. She must have been very close when she'd contacted him. What was she going to do if no one was here?
報告書
Report. Evidently, it was a report about her investigations for Star. The stack of papers was shaking a little in my hands. I still felt some unease when Moeka was in my presence. Maybe it was just because of the anxiety meds I'd taken right after she'd said she was coming, but I was still doing a lot better than yesterday.
どうおじさん
Well, Uncle,
I like that shot, sir. That's kind of a cool shot. But it's interesting how Akabe, despite his size, look at where his head is. His head is not quite level with her nose, so he must be crouched down on the floor in front of the table.
やっぱりそう簡単に見つかるもんじゃないな。
I guess it really isn't going to be that easy to find her.
そう
I see.
She must have been expecting something at least a little. There was an obvious tone of disappointment in her voice.
かがりどこで何してるんだろう
Kagari, where are you? And what are you doing?
With no way to answer her, I just silently flipped through the pages of the report.
どうしたんオカリンなんか有力な手がかりでもあったん
What's up, Ocarine? Find something useful?
いや、そういうわけじゃないんだが。
No, not really, but
見せて
Let me see.
I handed the report over to Suzuha without complaint. I pointed to the part that interested me with my finger.
調査の中で一つ興味深い事実が浮かび上がった
My investigation has revealed one interesting fact.
この 1,2 ヶ月の間で椎名かがりという名の女性を探している人物が私たち以外にも存在するらしいということ
Over the past 1 to 2 months, it seems another party besides ourselves has been searching for Shina Kagari.
どういうこと
What does that mean?
読んだままの通り
Just what you read. Which meant... My phone started ringing before I could finish the thought. I got the feeling this could be quite important, so I'm going to put this here. Well, I'm guessing this is Maho, and she does it, and I do pick up, so let's find out. Normally I'd just ignore her and call back later, but...
悪い。ちょっといいか。
Sorry, can I take this? For some reason I had to answer. That's what it felt like.
もしもし
Hello?
もしもし岡部さん私ヒアジョです
Hello, Okabe, it's me, Hiyajo.
She sounded on the verge of panic, and my voice naturally rose to match
どう
hers.
したヒアジョさん。
What's wrong, Hiyajo?
今あなたのラボのすぐ近くまで
I'm right next to your lab.
Immediately afterward, I heard what sounded like a struggle, and then something hitting something
ヒアジョ
else.
さんヒアジョさんどうした
Hiyajo! Hiyajo! What's wrong? And then there was only silence.
オカリン何かあったん
Ocarine, what's wrong? From the tone of her voice, it was obvious that something bad had happened. Sorry about this, bear me a second. I had enough of those stupid comments coming up the other day, so that's getting removed.
知り合いが誰かに襲われてる
Someone's attacking this girl I know!
マジ知り合いって誰
Wait, seriously? Which girl? But I didn't stay to answer his question. I grabbed the nearest thing that could serve as a weapon and ran out of the lab. She said she was close to the lab. If she was coming from the station and had chosen a route that not many people would go down, she was probably the alley directly in front of the lab. I saw someone there. They were tall and slender, and I could see a tiny silhouette struggling behind them. That was... I knew it. The only girl I knew that size was Maho.
やめて話してってば
Stop it! Let me go!
Okay. It's obviously a girl, because I can tell by this. But seriously, look at that image. I know she's meant to be tiny, but come on, seriously?
Stop it! Let me go!
Someone had grabbed her and she was trying desperately to escape.
宮城さん
Hiacho!
Huh?
The person who was holding her turned in surprise at my voice.
女
A woman? It was only then I realised it was a woman and that she wasn't Japanese.
岡部さん
Is she that weird reporter? Whatever her name is. That did the California report.
Okabe!
おい宮城さんを離せ
Hey! Let go of Hiajo! Did she not understand me? No, but she should have been able to guess what I was getting at.
その子を離せ
Let her go! I tried to strike a threatening pose with the weapon in my hand, but unless it was a perfectly violent hot pink, I had absolutely no chance. Still, I was impressed that Hiajo's shoe had yet to hit the floor. Because, yeah, I agree, Queen, it's kind of cute that they put the shoe in there. I also like how they've given it two different colours. Orange and pink. I finally realised that what I brought was the Sailor saber. Still, it would serve as a bluff.
もう一度言うぞその子を
I'll say it again! Let her...
違うの岡部さん
It's not like that, Okabe!
Huh? It wasn't? It wasn't like what?
Oh!
Oh, it's her! She was from the Institute, wasn't she? She was the one that Maho surprised when she was listening to Leskinen and the bad ending. The woman let go of Maho and smiled. She walked towards me with her arms open wide.
Are you Maho's boyfriend?
Are you Maho's boyfriend?
はあちょ
Huh? What? Wait! Before I could ask what was going on, she'd wrapped her arms around my back and given me a firm hug.
だから違うって言ってるのに
I told you! He is not!
I had no idea what the hell was going on, but the two soft objects No! 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 Moving on!
それじゃあこの人はヒアジョーさんの知り合いなのか
Then you know her, Hiajo.
ごめんなさい私が早とちりしたせいで
I'm sorry, it was my mistake.
I'm Judy Reyes. Pleasure meeting you, Mr. Okabe.
Because she's speaking English, I'm not going to do the voice for her at this moment in time. There's no point. The woman named Judy Reyes offered me her hand. Her broad smile like the sun itself.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
日本語でいいわよ。
Japanese will do just fine.
え教授って日本語喋れたんですか
What? You speak Japanese, Professor?
ええ、実はね。
Yes, actually.
知らなかったでもどうして
I had no idea, but why?
And what conversations was she listening into between you and Makise? Oh yes.
女も私くらいの年になるといろいろあるのよ。
When a girl gets to be my age, a lot happens.
I'll read it because it's so fucking idiotic. Her mischievous wink looked pretty good on her.
それじゃあ改めて。 ジュディ・レイエスよ。よろしくね。
Anyway, I'll introduce myself properly. Judy Reyes. Nice to meet you.
Why do I get Ichinose vibes from her? Something about these eyes here. Do you know what I mean? There's just that look. I returned her handshake.
岡部倫太郎です。
Okabe Ritsuro.
レイエス教授は今度日本で開かれる AI 関係の学会に出席するために来日したんですって。
Professor Reyes says she came to Japan for an AI conference.
教授っていうことはビクトル・コンドリア大学の
She's a professor? At Victor Condria?
サイコフィシオロジーを研究してるわ。
I research psychophysiology.
サイコフィ
Psycho...
精神生理学のことよ。つまり脳の活動によってもたらされる心の働きとか心の病気なんかについての研究をされているの。
It's the intersection of psychology and biology. In other words, she researches how the activities of the brain affect the inner workings and diseases of the mind.
そういう意味では私たちの研究よりもずっと人の役に立つ研究をされていると言っていいかもしれないわね。
In that sense, her research is a lot more useful to humanity than ours.
そんなことないわ。あなたたちのアマデウスだってこれからの発展次第では十分に役に立つ技術になるわよ。
That's not true. Depending on how it turns out, your Amadeus could turn into an incredibly useful piece of technology.
そう言っていただけると嬉しいです。
It makes me happy to hear you say that.
In short, Dr. Reyes had happened to see Maho on the streets of Akihabara and had decided to surprise her by grabbing her from behind. Yeah, as you say, Avian, getting glommed? Not a good look.
でもレイエス教授も人が悪いですよ。駅からつけてくるなんて。
Still, that's pretty mean of you. Following me all the way from the station.
つける？魔法？私が？
I followed you? From the station?
ええ。後ろをついてきてましたよね。ずっと。
That's right. You followed me the whole time, didn't you?
そんなことしてないわ。私はさっきそこのショップでたまたま魔法を見つけたからちょっと驚かそうと思っただけよ。
No, I didn't. I happened to see you from that shop over there and decided to surprise you. Huh?
Maho had only just relaxed when Dr. Reyes' answer drained her face of its colour.
ヒヤジョーさんつけられていたのか
Hyajo, someone followed you?
ええ。確かにそう感じたんだけど。
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
レイエス教授誰か怪しい人物を見かけたりは
Did you see anyone suspicious? Dr. Reyes denied it with that unique shrug that foreigners always do. Is he on about like the kind of shrug? I looked back over the alley, but of course I didn't see anyone.
じゃあ私の勘違いだったのかしら。
I must have been mistaken then.
きっとそうだわ。だって日本は世界一治安のいい国でしょ。
I'm sure you were. Japan's the safest country in the world, right?
Was it?
魔法はこの後どうするの？
What are you going to do now, Maho?
私は
Reyes seemed to sense something in Maho's silence.
なるほど、そういうこと。それじゃあ私は行くわね。リンタロもそのうちゆっくり話しましょう。
I see. Alright, I'll be on my way then. We should talk sometime, Rintaro.
バイ。
Bye.
She gave me a meaningful wink as she left. The station was in the opposite direction. Should I have said something? I got a strange sense that she was feeling me out, but it seemed like a waste of time to resist. And well, after that surprise entrance from the other researcher, we found ourselves on a stray world line where it would seem that Akabe is making Makise annoyed, and we're motioning towards a very strange thing involving some dead chimpanzees. I've got nothing. I really don't.
And we're going to find out more about what happens on this particular world line in 2 nights' time. That's going to be on the Thursday, of course. And I'll be back at 8 PM GMT for my final stream before Christmas, because I will be taking a few days off after that to see the fam. So, until then, thank you all very, very much for watching. And good night.